Happy New Year. It is now officially 2023. And if you are here, congratulations. Congratulations on being the dog, on being the alpha, on being the badass. You made it. 2022 had a lot of moments where you could have gave up, and you showed back up to tell 2023, I'm here. I'm still standing. And I know there's somebody out there right now who is getting real weak, who's getting real tired, who doesn't always have the strength to keep pushing forward. But you don't have to do it alone. You don't even have to give your name. You just simply have to dial 3 simple numbers, 988, and reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988. 2 small, simple numbers. I know that there are times when you are not always at your strongest, but those are the times where you need to be able to say, I need help. They're open 24/7. You don't have to give them your name. You can simply call, have a conversation, and tell them, I just need someone to talk to. And they'll direct you with resources and everything else to get you in a position. And if that's not enough, and you want to do it a little bit differently, I get no endorsements for BetterHelp. I don't have any type of financial gain or anything to do for this. I simply use BetterHelp myself to maintain my own mental health, and I believe that anyone else can. They have a number of different options that allow for you to get help and assistance, even if you don't have the right insurance or you can't afford it. So before you make a decision that you can't live with, make one you can. Get help. Because whether you know it or not, we care. So please, stay. Tomorrow needs you. What's going on, Pride Nation? It is Victory Monday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our Detroit Lions have found a way to pull out a win and do it convincingly. And if you don't know anything about me, you know that I am not one for sugarcoating. So if you're not ready for a little bit of hard dose of reality in this episode, please go ahead and exit stage left. I pretty much appreciate it. But if you're down to have a good conversation, if you're up to being a part of the show, and you want to talk about this Detroit Lions and that win and have your voice be heard, then this is the show for you. Because this is where we do what? All things talk Detroit Lions football. And I'm in a good mood. I'm in an ecstatic mood. Happy New Year to every single one of you. I hope you guys had a wonderful night. If you celebrated it, if you did it responsibly, and that everything went the way it was supposed to go. And so I'm excited. I got to talk about this game. I got to talk about the latest news with the Lions. And I'm trying to figure out where I want to start at, because one of the things that I want to talk about kind of pissed me off. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's see who's in the building with us in here. We have my man's friendly neighborhood Lions fan. Black Spirit is in here. He says, we sent the message to the Packers by beating down the Bears, and they sent it right back. Hey, what can I say? Man Hour's in the building. Shout out to Man Hour, who is sponsoring me and making sure they give love. They created those beautiful T-shirts for the Stay Tomorrow Needs You. And so shout out to Man Hour, baby. Scambino's in the building. He says, man, let's go. Looney Tunes in the building. Chrome is in the building. Barberry Lion is in the building. Chris Cashball is in the building. Buffed Up is in the building. Detroit D is in the building. BD Buster is in the building. One Funky Lion fan is in the building. Anthony says, going to make Kenyon Rogers cry. So, man, I hear that. Micro Mike is in the building. Giovanni Lion is in the building. Roy the Lion UK is in the building. I predict that might be Matt. Brian 3 Cushions. Say hi, fellas. It's in the building. Joe Lewis 313 is in the building. Let's see. Make sure I ain't miss nobody, man. Make sure I get it. If you in here, put a message in there so I can shout you out. Nolan Pertella. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't. I botched names all day. The great one, Mike, is in the building. Mike Kidd is in the building. Let me see. Big T is in the building. Sheldon McCray was in the building. Detroit Made Me is in the building. Let me see. Make sure I ain't got nobody. I ain't miss nobody. Junior Gitter, I hope I got that right, is in the building. Old Timer Dave, What's going on, family? This is our residential Packers fan who shows love and just enjoy good content creators, and he comes through. So shout out to him. We got him in the building. Let me see. Don 19 is in the building. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Let me see. Super Saiyan Lion is in the building. This is my man Greasy in the building. Bandit Podcast. What's it? Baloney? Bandit Podcast? Hope I said that, man. I got to get it together, man. I'm tripping. DJ is in the building. That fan, man. Billy Vendable's in the building. It says Lions fan here in North Carolina. What's up? What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show. On this show, you get a chance to be a part of it because I'm going to drop the link in here. And if you want to join and you got a microphone or something with internet, feel free to jump in and let's talk our talk. My man's, bro, you be at the gym on regular. You motivation, boy. I'm telling you, or what they say, you pressure, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Keep it up. All right. So listen, I think I hit up everybody. Wait, nope, I missed one. I can't miss my man Truth Taylor out there. All right. Shout out to everybody in the building. First things first, the Detroit Lions beat the brakes off of the Bears. Okay. There wasn't a phase of this game that the Bears were successful on. Not special teams, not offense, not defense. There was nothing. The Lions still did give up a lot of big plays. I mean, what you want me to do with that? It is what it is, right? But overall, oh wait, hold on, I gotta get my man. I got one more. We got December Sage in the building. What's going on? And we got Lions Roar 74 in the building. Make sure listen. I'm all about trying to get people they flowers. We got my man D Williams in there. David Crow's in the building. Adam is in the building. Brad Holmes sucks. This is facts. Adam, you don't want to get me started. Don't Adam. I know you're not a typical fan. I know you're not a typical fan. So I know that's just you trolling. But no, Brad Holmes. If you find that you can't question what Brad Holmes has done as a GM in its entirety, that's your business. I personally find that I can find a lot of things wrong with what Brad Holmes did. And at the end of the day, the Lions could easily still beat the Packers and not make the playoffs because of what? Their defense. The same unit that's been hot garbage before he got here. It is hot garbage 2 years after he's here. So, just saying. He said, I heard he liked turtles. What the hell is going on? All right, people. So, Lions come out, handle their business. And I got to be honest. They did exactly what I thought they was going to do. They did exactly what I thought they was going to do, which is go out and beat them. It sucks ass that we are now having to pray for the perfect storm to have a chance to the postseason. Many different people had the Lions going, 6 wins, 7 at best. I thought we was going to go 10. And I think the lowest I had us going was 8. And so at that point, it was like, okay, it is what it is. But for me, this right here was a game that I walked away from and I just said, why can't we play like this every week? Why can't we? I know the Bears is not necessarily the best team, but when you're not the best team, you should get stumped out. They really could have kept scoring. They really could have. They just stopped, right? And the things that stood out to me was you finally realized that running the ball is important. That was great. It was a lot of good in this game. The greatest part of this game to me was James Houston. He is the story for it. Like, if there's any credit I'm going to give Brad Holmes, that pick for a guy to be in his 6th or 7th game, and I think he didn't even have a start or something to that effect, and still produce at this level is crazy. To all the people who told me that my expectations of a rookie having 10 sacks, please hold my beer. I tried to explain to people that 10 sacks in 17 weeks is not hard. Not if you're good. It's not hard. And the reality is here's James Houston proving that, look, it's not. I had people who got mad at me when I said, hey, shout out to Combs, another man, our faithful over there, and a Bears fan. He said, because the Bears quit, the Lions look better than they are yesterday. Hey, it is what it is. But the reality is this. And again, I'm dropping the link in the chat early because I got a lot to cover. And I want to just hit on the quick stuff before I go off about this damn flex. I am disgusted by this. But the Lions came out and showed that, okay, we should be able to step out to better teams. The losses that we have infuriate me on so many levels because I wonder, out of the 8 losses that we had, how many of them would you say was on the offense? How many of them would you say was on the defense? And I'm curious to that because to me, if your answer is defense, and the defense has been hot garbage for over the last 4 years, then you pretty much know where the problem lies at, right? And to me, I just look at the Lions team, and I'm like, this is a perfect storm for you to not only make the playoffs, but win the division, get a playoff push, if you could, because you had a schedule that was designed and set up in such a way that you could have really took advantage of some things. And I felt like we just didn't do it. Now, granted, I'm excited we won. Granted, I'm excited that the rookies had a good game. I'm excited about that, right? I'm excited that many of the things bounced our way. I'm all happy for that, right? I'm still disappointed in our season because I know you're okay with us being 1-6 and then turning it around. I mean, it's cute. It's a great story. I understand people like it, awesome. But for me, we were better than an 8 or 9 win team. We were better than that. And we should have had a record reflective of that. That's why I don't believe you are what your record say you are. I don't believe that. I believe that you have to be able to accept certain things. And I was happy with what I saw. I thought the Lions on every phase just did them dirty. If I'm not mistaken, I think Fields had 75 yards. 75 yards. Make that make sense. 75 yards. Like, this is where we at with it. And for me, I'm astounded at how this came out. I'm 100% shocked at how this all played out. I mean, it's ridiculous. First Black Man on the Net says, out of the 8 losses that we had early, how many key players were either hurt or on IR? Luke, you got to come up with more original content. The controversial spiel gets tired. Love you, bro. I'm not trying to be controversial. See, that's the first mistake you made. In 2023, I'm going to make sure I give the same responses every single time. I'm not trying to be controversial. I don't want to hear about how many people we got hurt. That's the old spiel. That's the same old Lions fan spiel right there. That whole entire, we had these people out and this is why that's hot garbage. That's hot garbage. That's baloney. Because if you want to play that card, then we got to ask why we keep adding people that's hurt. So at the end of the day, nobody, the whole IR and people being hurt, that wasn't what led to us giving up the most points in NFL in that stretch. That wasn't what that was. So, no, we're not going to do that. So I'm just saying, we're not going to do that. That's just not true. The reality is the Lions showed up. They outcoached them, right? They outcoached them. I know Adam wanted, and to Adam's credit, he did give some credit. Adam wanted Campbell fired. He believed that these issues were coaching. I didn't believe that these were coaching issues. I mean, I still believe that we have some deficiencies that have still been there. But at the end of the day, when you look at those 8 losses, you're going to walk out and say that majority of those, if not 90% of those losses, came because the defense couldn't hold. And that is what it is. So it just is what it is. To all my critics this year, welcome. Worst Detroit show on the net, always trying to be different, but the rants turn into blabbering at some point, Luke. Appreciate it. Y'all don't understand how good I feel today. Y'all don't understand how happy I am to see 2023. Y'all don't understand how happy I am to know that I can still keep it pushing. So any criticism or opinions you have, let it be known, brother. That's why it's a link in the chat. There's a link in the chat that you can jump in and join on. You want to say anything, simply hop on the link. Right? Like, let's just hop on the link. It's right there. So you want to be critical, but be critical and get on here and let's talk about it. But the reality is yes, the Lions get a good win. And now I'm annoyed because I personally think that they're trying to set the Lions up for failure when they flex that game to a night game. That's bull. That's BS in my opinion. That's 100% BS in my opinion. And I'm not excited about it. I'm not happy that they flexed that game because it only gives an advantage to the damn Packers. They're already playing at home, and the Lions had many other games that they could have flexed that would have been more exciting to flex. But no, this one is more about who the winner gets in and the winner gets out. No, it don't. Both these teams need help. They both need to win, and they both need help. And at the end of the day, with both these teams needing help and needing to get a win, it don't matter. And that's what it boils down to. I mean, if you're excited about it, more power to you. I don't like it. I checked the goddamn weather. I was curious. The high is supposed to be 29 degrees. The high for that game is supposed to be 29 degrees. Now, it's still a little bit early. That could change. But the high is supposed to be 29 degrees. And I'm not excited about that. Hell, they act like they couldn't take the cold in Carolina. Like Carolina had a new style of cold or some shit. Now we got to go in Green Bay and play when the high is 29. The low can get as low as 22. That's without even the 5 to 10 mile per hour wind that's going to bring it down even further. So I'm saying I'm not excited about it. If you are, more power to you. But the Lions missed a very good opportunity this year. They did. This game wouldn't even have to matter if they took care of business earlier. It wouldn't. And I don't like that they flexed this game. It only benefits the Packers. And yes, I know the Packers got to play in it, but they've been playing in it. They play outside all year round. And as Mike said, it don't matter if Seattle wins. You gave up an ugly loss to the Panthers. You knew you had to win out. And if Seattle wins, you fucked. So now the question really becomes, do you root for Seattle to win to get a higher draft pick? Or do you root for the Rams to win, lose a high draft pick, but you get a chance to possibly get into the playoffs? So, but I'm not liking the flex. I'm not feeling it. I love what we did to the Bears. It's a division opponent. I think that we only got one divisional loss, which is to the Vikings. So that's beautiful. But I'm not liking it. I'm not liking the flex. I'm just not. So I'm just putting it out there. If you happy about the flex game, more power to you. Choo-choo. Right? Like I'm not there. Not with it. Also, I think I was listening to Adam, and Adam said that shout out to Adam. He said that Goff has earned the right to be the franchise quarterback. Okay. I still think they should draft a quarterback, but okay. I think the bigger problem is going to be now, do we now not look at some other positions because of what has happened with James Houston? What's going on, TA? Oh, not franchise. My bad. I don't want to misspeak what he said. Adam, you got to change this fucking photo, bro. It looked like you are ready to promote somebody's foreign cologne or some shit. Like, what the hell? You got to take the photo. But no, I mean, I think we still should take a quarterback. I think that yesterday's game was just more confirmation to me that the Lions truly underachieved this season, because I swear we should not even be in a position to have to be fighting for our lives. We should not. We should not be in a position like this at all. I don't like this. I don't. And for the camp of people who think that I am crazy about the Brad Holmes talk, I'm just telling you, my issue is very simple. When he got here, the biggest problem with this team was defense, and it still is. And even with the defense doing what it did yesterday, which I don't know what the hell Fields was going through, even the interception that he threw, I'm not even sure what he was doing. We didn't rush nobody. We didn't send a single person at him. He had a number all day, and he still threw the ball directly there. I do not understand that. I take it. That brings me to my next question, because this came up out of the win, and people was talking about it, right? And complaining ass fans. What are you excited about? Tell me, what are you excited about? Don't say people complaining. Just tell me what you're excited about. Jump in. Jump on the show. The link is in the description. All you got to do is jump in. It's on the description. Like, I'm just being honest. It's right there. But where should we take a quarterback next draft, Luke? You just need one. I mean, I believe, what's his name? Nate Stubblefield? How you pronounce this dude's name? That fucker called a timeout. And then on his first play, called a timeout. And then the very next play got sacked. It wasn't it wasn't much to look at from there. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm just saying. It wasn't much to look at there, in my opinion. In my opinion, we still should take a quarterback. I just think we should. Competition makes better, right? I feel bad for a lot of people. But my biggest takeaway from this victory was the Lions took the Bears' will away. It was the best thing I ever seen. They didn't even run the same. They didn't even breathe the same. I enjoyed every bit of this. It looked like Swift found his swag as he cut in and out to get big plays. I was just happy all around. And so it makes me excited. But again, the link is in the description. My man Old Timer Dave is in the building. What's going on, Old Timer Dave?
Not much, buddy. What's going on with you today?
Not much. Now, if people don't know, Old Timer Dave is a Packer fan, right? Dave, last time the Lions beat the Packers, not only did you call it, you told me, don't worry, they're losing. And it happened.
I did.
What are your thoughts now? You think the Lions
because of the fact that at that point in time, it looked to me like the Packers had completely given up. This game is going to be totally different.
Okay. So you have the Packers winning?
I do.
Okay.
It's going to be a good game. Detroit always plays us rough, even in Lambeau. As a matter of fact, some of the biggest losses we've had to Detroit have been in Lambeau.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Dave. I'm curious about this. Do you think that them flexing that game to a night game gives the Packers any more of an advantage?
It depends on how you want to look at it.
Okay.
And it depends on the mindset of the Lions. And because if Seattle wins, of course, you guys can't get in the playoffs anymore. But in the Lions' mentality, are they going to do everything they can do to keep Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs? Or are they just going to say, well, to hell with it. We didn't make it.
Okay.
And that's something that your coach is going to have to mention, because then I guarantee us that's where the minds of some of the players are going to go.
I personally hate the whole flex, because I just knew, I'm like, Carolina code ain't the same as Green Bay or Michigan cold, and they couldn't handle that. So I feel like it's a setup in the game when you look at it, and that's why I just look at it and I say I'm not really feeling this part of it.
Anytime, I don't care if it's daylight or dark. Anytime you play in Lambeau in January, you're already stacked against. The odds are already stacked against you.
Okay, so it didn't matter
if you're an indoor team.
It didn't matter if they played at 1 or at 8:30. You felt that it was just going to be stacked against you regardless. There
was only going to be about 7 degrees temperature difference, if I remember right. So it's not a lot. Am I nervous about the Lions? Absolutely. I'd be stupid not to be.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, if that team that played Minnesota shows up, y'all in trouble. I think it's been a long time since I've seen our defense play like that.
Okay. Look, I ain't mad at your confidence. Listen, you mind hanging in the back so I get a few more people in here?
Not a problem.
All right. My next person up is Why You Always Lions. What's going on, brother? What's it do?
How you doing, brother?
What's going on? What you got for us today?
No, it's fine. But I'm all right. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. Man. Happy New Year. How you feeling right now? Tell me what you got for the show.
New Year off right, didn't we?
We did. You came out. You stuck the mud hole. Left no doubt.
So this season was weird for me. I mean, you know how I am. I'm always that optimistic Lions fan. I said since 1-6 that this team was different because I'm with you. I don't think we should even be in this situation to be fighting for playoffs. But we are. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we're going to make it in just because the circumstances are way too like we need Seattle to beat. We need Seattle to lose to a god-awful Rams team. And I just don't see how that's happening, especially with Kenneth Walker back. But I would like them to go and spoil for Green Bay. But I guess what I wanted to say is I'm happy in general. You know, this season was a success. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they met my expectations. My floor was 8-9, and my ceiling was 10-7. And am I disappointed they did 10-7?
So I said they would win 10 games, but obviously that didn't come into fruition. They're close to it, but I guess like what I'm more at the clip that these rookies are playing is just ridiculous. Like you don't want it to drop off, but you know there's gonna be a drop off somewhere. Because if they play like this the rest of their careers, I mean, this is one hell of a draft. But I don't know, man. I just feel like we are blessed now, and we need to just like soak it up. I don't want fans to go in. If we lose next week, man, look.
They're still 4-2 in the division. They still will be finishing with a solid division record of 4-2. And
we still ran our division, and it's kind of. I'm kind of with Adam. I was watching his show earlier in the morning. He was saying, I expect them to win a division next year. Like, no, nothing less, honestly. I either compete or win a division. Like, compete and make it into the playoffs or win that division and host a playoff game because I think we're more than likely we definitely have the weapons to do it. And the only thing I disagree with you on, I don't think we take a quarterback this year. I think you take a quarterback this year, you're doing your team a disservice. Defense. And then I'm sorry to say it, but we need a running back somewhere because as much as everybody likes DeAndre Swift, he showed me too many times this year that he don't want to run north and south. And we need somebody that's going to be healthy, north and south runner that's explosive all the time. So I don't care if it's in the second, third, or fourth round, but we need to get somebody that's either going to light a fire under DeAndre Swift or that's going to take the torch and run with it. And
listen, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that approach.
You know?
No, I'm not mad at the whole defense approach. I was screaming defense for like the last 2 seasons, right? I felt that we could have really changed the defense, but to me, I feel like we ain't been even or fair when it comes to our praise to the rookies and certain rookies. I ain't gonna say we, I ain't one of them, but people went nuts. They went absolutely nuts for Emrod, and I'm not getting that same energy for James Houston.
I don't know why. Look, I said it 2 games ago. I said if they would have started this man sooner, he might have broke the rookie sack record.
Man, listen, that man. I got yelled. Remember, I got yelled at for saying that. I got yelled at for saying that at the one game that he's a. I got yelled at for saying that he's a better pass rusher than Aiden Hutchinson at this point. I got yelled at for saying that, and I stand by it. But I
would agree. I would agree. I think Aiden does a lot of different things better than him. But if we're talking about pure pass rusher aspect, he's a better pure pass rusher because he is. Once Aiden doesn't have, which he'll learn this offseason, and I know that he has the wit to learn it, Aiden only has a handful of moves. He has that bull rush. He has that fake bull rush where he rips in the inside, and he has the swim move and the swim. Those are 4 moves. He ain't got the James Houston hesitation or his hand placement is so elite. I feel like James Houston is so fast. As soon as he gets that hand and he swipes out, there ain't no touching him. He getting around that corner so fast. I don't know. He a beast.
It's crazy. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, man. I got more people in the back waiting, man. Appreciate you for showing love and support. And appreciate it. I mean, I get yelled at all the time for saying stuff. But when I say stuff, I'm not trying to be different. I'm trying to get people to understand that you can think differently. And I don't think with the group a lot of the time because I see things differently. It is what it is. And to me, I'm telling you, after that game, that very first game he had the 2 sacks in, he did so much in that one game that wasn't just something that you see that goes by slow. He was working the hell out of them people, and there's all these different narratives that comes up just don't make sense, So it sucks ass. Technical Jeff makes a good point. They did cut him, so yeah, it's gonna be they're gonna pay him. They're gonna give him some money to keep him here. Figure it out. Next up, Jon Kapler. What is going on, brother?
Well, it's good. Got the shirt. Gotta do a little promotion. Everybody, remember, stay. We need you.
Hey, 100%, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the love and the support.
I've been dying to get on to actually put this on to do that and send to your show message, that sort of thing. But I'm with the last guy. The moves that James Houston has, especially of what I like to call the Houston hop, that whole little stutter, and he's up in the air doing some weird Michael Jordan stuff, and then he goes. Oh, that's just nasty. They were talking about that, I want to say, on ESPN or something. That move that he did his first game. Whoo-wee. Imagine if he was in since the beginning of the season, my Lord.
And listen, I'm getting ready to lean into something that people ain't gonna want to hear, and that's just the truth that you probably don't have the defensive rookie of the year. You probably don't.
No.
And Hutchinson.
No.
I don't think he wins it.
Well, what's great, we don't need to have the defensive rookie of the year. You have the 2nd overall pick. You have James Houston. You have Malcolm Rodriguez. 2 late-round picks that have turned out to be very nice. Now, will we draft to replace them to make them just very strong depth pieces? Maybe. But the fact that you have those 2 guys that stepped up and are doing what they're doing, very nice. Good to see. And I don't, as the last or second to last person said, I don't think we're winning. I think the Packers win. We should have won last week. We put ourselves into this. Someone said on another video, I like the picks, but I want the playoffs more. Indeed, I like the playoffs too, but we should have handled our business. So you know what? I say Rams can go ahead and lose. We should have beat Carolina. This is on us. We shouldn't have to depend on people.
For you want the draft pick at this point because you don't believe that the Seahawks are going to lose to the Rams.
It's not even that. I mean, I like my picks, but you're a couple spots off, up or down. It's not really going to matter. We probably, I don't want to say probably. There's a good chance our GM, if he really wants someone like he did last year, he will trade up. Maybe instead of having 2 first-rounders, we trade up and we go get that guy. But we should have handled our business. Would it be awesome to get in the playoffs? Yes, but if we're in the playoffs, I want to win. I don't want this, we got a patch, we got a playoff patch, we're feeling good about ourselves. Could we pull a New York Giants and run the table? possibly, but you had the chance last week in Carolina, the warmest game of the week, and you couldn't pull it out. Just like Minnesota blowing it to Green Bay. What was that crap? You lost by like 35 freaking points. I don't know if that was the NFL rigging or blowing or doing whatever they do behind the scenes, but that was absolute dog crap. So now the Packers are on fire. Last week, last game of the season against Detroit, game probably going to get flexed. Everyone's all eyes on us.
No, it got flexed. It's already flexed to the late night game.
Okay,
so for
me, there you go. Last game of the season, and all eyes are on us when we should have it locked up and it shouldn't come down to this. But NFL drama, we got to have the drama.
Listen, it is what it is at this point. Because, like you said, we should have handled our business and took care of it, and we didn't. And I get it. I just look at it like this. And if you're in here, please hit the like button. It do help. Appreciate that. But I just look at it like this: the Lions at least gave us more hope. You know, at the very least, their record wasn't as bad as it was before.
We got them 8 wins, like people said. We improved.
And then on top of that, I also want to point out the fact, like I said, to the people who keep subscribing to it takes 3 years, man. Like, I can't wait till I start asking questions about y'all expectations for next season, because I expect to hear high expectations since everything takes 3 years.
Well, at that point, won't it be 3 years? So we should be winning a playoff game? Technically, it takes 3 years. Cough.
So that would have to be the expectation. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But appreciate it, man. I got one more person to back. I hold you off.
No, go for it. Thanks for having me on. Go Lions.
Yes, sir. I mean, look, I'm happy, right? If they win, it's 9-8. If they lose, they 8-9. Are they above 500 at 8-9? No, but I'll take it. I wasn't settling for 6 wins. And to me, like I said, I'm going to be asking the questions down the stretch. The expectations this year for most fans were 6 and 7 wins. And that was what they was pushing. Well, what is it going to be now? So that's what I'm looking at. My man Gunner is up next. Gunner, you in the building. What you got for the show?
Hey, man, let me tell you something about James Houston, man. That man crazy. Charles Harris lost his job. He gone.
I don't even think it's Charles Harris that needs to be worried. I think it's Austin Bryant. I think it's Julian Ocore. I think
Austin Bryant ain't getting re-signed. Like, I'm pretty sure this is last year of his contract.
Right, but at that point, I think what James Houston did was created such a problem. And I hate to say this, if he gets better, man, you talking about
if he get better, man, let me tell you what.
Like, good grief.
We talking like he might be leading the league in sacks. He get better. That's all I'm saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like they started him. I think they started him yesterday. I think yesterday was his first start.
Bro, did you see how low that man could get to the ground?
It wasn't even that. There was this one play where Aiden Hutchinson ran and he was trying to peel back in and the quarterback stepped up. And what James Houston did was said, F this trying to go around you. He just went
through, bro.
Yeah,
he pushed that left tackle into his own dude, bro.
And bull rushed the tackle on top of Fields. And I'm like,
oh my God. Nah, I feel bad. You know how the NFL is. They're going to be drug testing him.
And the play that everyone is talking about the most is the one where he drops back in coverage.
Yeah, he closed it on Fields.
And he closed that gap.
That speed was crazy.
And so it was so many things that with him I'm looking at and I'm just like, wow. Like, I give Brad Holmes all the praise in the world for that damn pick. That is some phenomenal stuff.
He spent 2 years on, or 2 drafts on the defensive line. I think it's next year it's time to fix these DBs.
And again, at this point, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to adding talent and getting stuff to fix it, I am looking for him to go defense. And I'm not looking for no role players. You need significant players on the defense.
No, I don't think people should be upset if we take 2 corners in the first round or 2 DBs, period, like a corner and a safety.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just one of them things. What are your other thoughts about the Lions beating the Bears and the fact that they flexed our game to the night game, which I don't like. I feel like they gave a bigger advantage
because of the cold and stuff.
Man, it's gonna be cold as fuck.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's gonna be cold as hell.
Nah, but could you imagine if we just ruined their playoff hopes in front of all they fans on the biggest stage? That's crazy.
For me, that's what I want, because then at that point we'll be 5-1 in the division.
We have not been 5-1 since I think it was 2017 was the last time we were 5-1 in the division.
Yeah, I want that 5-1. I want to sweep the Packers. I want to sweep we should have swept all
we should really be 6-0 in the division if we're being honest.
Right, if we're being honest. But stuff happens. We still giving up big plays. Defense still need prayer. It is what it is. We still need linebackers, as TA point out, or we need some dogs at linebacker at the very least. And we, what do we need? Another safety? Yeah, we do. We sure as hell do. I'm sorry. I'm finna say some controversial stuff because people love to hate what I'm saying, but it is what it is. Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker are the same players. So
they're too inconsistent.
They're the same players. You literally have the same two players, and so you need another safety in my opinion.
And plus, they got to decide if they want to bring back Deshaun Elliott or not, because he's only on a 1-year deal, and you got to replace Will Harris's nickel role, which is probably what they're going to do as well in the draft. So that's like 3 DB spots right there.
Well, like I said,
and you need depth at outside. I don't think people realize how many corners we're losing this offseason. Like, I'm pretty sure after this offseason, we only have Okudah and Jerry Jacobs as our corners. So you still need depth behind those guys because Okudah's been hurt every year. And Jerry Jacobs came off that big injury last year, but he's been pretty healthy this year so far.
No, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't never happy you put out controversial stuff every week in the videos and it's getting old. Truth hurts, right? Truth hurts. If you think you're gonna walk out there and you're gonna put if you tell me you're putting Walker back to the spot that Elliott's at, that's a mistake. He's better at where he's at, and Kirby Joseph was behind him for a reason. So truth hurts. And who said I'm not happy? And it's not controversial. It's just the fact of me being sarcastic and saying that y'all think that what I say is controversial or that I'm just trying to be different. And if you think it's getting old, then hey, that is your right. Y'all have y'all opinions. There's a link in the description. Feel free to jump in and so we can have a conversation about it. But at the end of the day, no, they are the same people. And the problem is the defense. And the defense has been the same problem. And if you look at those games that we lost, you're going to walk away from at least 6 to 7 of them and say we lost it because of defense. Sorry. Just facts. So,
we wouldn't even be worried about the Seattle game if we didn't give up 45 points.
Right. You think about
48
this, right?
points. My bad.
48 points. If you beat Seattle, right? Think about this. You beat Seattle. You should have beat the Eagles, right? Like, just look at the teams you lost to. You should have beat the Vikings. You should have swept the Vikings. So for all the controversy and everything that they want to talk about, the reality is what it is. To all the people who want to jock and say Brad Holmes did this great job, guess what? Same fucking problem exists from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Defense. You want to tell me he took a bunch of defensive players? So did Bob Quin. So what? So what? Do I give him praise for taking Sewell? Yep. Do I give him praise for taking Amon-Ra St. Brown? Yep. Which, by the way, that was a guy that I said I wanted. And did a whole video talking about it. Am I right or wrong, Gunner?
I don't remember the video on St. Brown, to be honest.
Oh, well, it's a video. It's there. Talked about St. Brown. As soon as I saw him escort somebody off the field, I was like, well, that's what I need. All I'm pointing out is the reality.
Yeah, he just had the unfortunate, at least for his draft positions, I know he wanted to go higher. It's just the unfortunate event of there being so many receivers that came out that draft.
And it worked out in his favor because it put him in a position to be successful. Sometimes going high ain't the best thing for a player. Just tell the truth, right? But yeah,
look at all the receivers at Colts draft. They're all like second round picks, and none of them have worked out because their passing offense has been trash for the last few years. Like Michael Pittman.
Yeah. And again, for me, what the history has been with the Lions is if we got a real stout defense, the offense don't click. If the offense is stout, the defense don't click. I'm just hoping that next year we can merge the two together and have a defense that's complementary to the offense and have an offense that's complementary to the defense. And I would be a happy camper. personally. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm.
All right, you got that. If you have all three phases playing, like the offense has been playing this year, you're talking at least like conference championship level.
Right. Think
team,
about
right?
it. Listen. To all the people who think that I'm negative and think that he's just upset, he's angry. You should be too, because there's no way that we should be with this team. We should not have not been in the playoffs. We should not have not had a record in the double digits. We shouldn't have. If the defense did their part, we wouldn't have this problem. And all I'm pointing out is just the simple fact of is that's the truth. And if I bring Old Timer Dave back in here and ask him how he felt about his thing, like he just said earlier, I never seen our defense play the way they played against Minnesota, because he saw things early on that needed to be fixed. And that's just the reality of it. The Lions literally are in a position that they should not be in. They can literally beat the Packers and still not make the playoffs because you lost to a trash-ass Panthers team. You lost to some teams that you just should not have lost to. You shouldn't have lost to the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith.
Nah, that game was wild.
Like, seriously. We have blamed Anthony Lynn. We have blamed R.B. Pleasant. We have blamed Dan Campbell. We have blamed Aaron Glenn. We've blamed every single person except the damn general manager for the defense being what it is. At some point, we got to call a spade a spade. And if our defense is not giving up as many points as they was giving up, how many games did we win? That's all I'm pointing out. Why this is shocker to people, Gunner, is beyond me. But I want to win. I want playoffs. I want a playoff win.
100%. Anyone who's rooting for that the Rams to lose is stupid. That pick does not move like anywhere. That's still a top 10 pick regardless, win or loss.
Right. No, but I'm saying like many people I've seen on Twitter where some people was like, oh, is it a hard thing? Do you root for the Rams to win so you can get into the playoff, or do you want the high draft pick, seeing how you know this is going to be a long rebuild? And I'm just like, what the fuck? No, I want to win. I want to win. I don't then forget draft picks.
Yeah.
I want to win. That's me. I don't know about everybody else, but that's just me.
If at the worst, I don't know how like the order will go with random crap, but at worst, it's like 9th. Like, we're fine. Like, that pick's fine.
And again, this is one of the things that I look at. You know, Antonio Jenkins, where he talks about people forget that we can also address these needs in free agency. I look at everything. When you hear people, if you look at most of my chats, and you look at the people who argue against the whole Brad Holmes conversation, they only talk about draft. They don't talk about free agents. They don't talk about re-signs. They don't talk about trades. It's only the drafts. That's all they talk about, is the draft. But I've been doing this for a while, and I've seen where every draft has been hyped up until year 2 or 3 come around, and then boom. Now it's get rid of this person, get rid of this bum. Everybody and their mama was hyped for Will Harris, and I was Will Harris got me in fucking YouTube jail because I was trying to figure out why we took him.
Did we trade up for that man too in the 3rd round? This is nasty. He only got drafted here because of Paul Pasqualoni, because he played for him at Boston College. This is the only reason why he was here.
I said 10-7. First black man on the net. You're wrong. I said 10-7. And I said, with this schedule, which in my opinion was not a strong schedule, it was a weak schedule, given the fact that you got 9 games at home. Literally have 9 games at home. And many of the teams that you're playing, which I believe 6 of them were in the first year of their rebuild. So you had 2 of those teams being the Vikings. You did a good job against them. And you had the other 2 being against the Bears, a good job against them. When you didn't get the goddamn Panthers, they didn't even have Matt Rule. He was gone, right? He's already hot garbage. You got beat down by them. I had him at 10-7. It's documented.
So we had him being gone at the beginning of the season. We knew he was gone. We knew he was gone. He was gone. He's gone a little soon before I thought he'd at least get at least the first game before Thanksgiving. Nah, he was gone like after 4 games. 4 or 5 games he was out of there.
No, come on, man. It's documented. I had them at 10-7. I said, and I in fact, I think it was Mike who was on with us when Mike said that, hey, I got them at 6 or 7, and he was like, if they get 6 or 7, I'm okay. And I was like, okay. I said 6 wins is a losing season for me, and I'm not accepting that. That's not an improvement for me. I said they have to get 8 wins. That was the floor. The floor was 8. The actual prediction was 10-7, and I said they can get as high as 12 wins. And I said it on not only my channel, but other people's channels as well. So let me bring Old Timer Dave back in. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember my prediction for the Lions?
Yes, sir.
What was the prediction I gave?
10-7.
Thank you. And I was adamantly against anybody who was accepting of 6 wins. I wasn't accepting those 6 or 7 wins.
You did. That's exactly right.
I'm not accepting those 6 or 7 wins. To me, does not show improvement. I don't think it takes 3 years to turn this thing around. We missed a good opportunity this year that we're going to look back on and be like, damn, we could have did something different. But that's just me. Now, I want to talk about the Packer game. I really do, because tomorrow is another work day for me, and my soul said they're gonna mandate me, right? So, but I want to talk about the Packer game, because to me, I from your perspective, you call the Lions beating the Packers the first game.
I did.
So now my question is simple: what do the Lions have to do? The
Lions absolutely have to bring their A+ game. I do not see any give up in our team. And when I say A+ game, you're going to have to bring it in every phase.
So you believe that the problem really going to have to be a problem for y'all. Like,
yeah. Yep. I honestly believe that at this particular point in time, I believe that we will win.
Okay.
It may not be by a lot. I mean, it may be a last-second field goal. It could be anything. But
yeah, I mean,
we're going to win.
It's absolutely one of the things where I still think we beat y'all. I still think we beat y'all, right? But I think Seattle beats the Rams, and so I think we finished 9-8. Y'all finished 8-9. We finished second in the division. Y'all finished third, and I think Seattle destroys our dreams and our hopes. I think we beat y'all. I think it's going to be a tough game because it's at night now. It's going to be cold as shit, and right now they're predicting it to be 22. But
when do you start with the cold? When does it get cold?
And in January, and shoot, they talking about the sun go down in Wisconsin around 4. They said, I think it said.
Yep. But you said it's going to be 22. When does the cold set in?
Well, according to them, y'all, we got 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. So
yeah,
the cold don't set in.
So now you're probably looking at about 15, 16. For temperature.
Man, that's why that flex is some bullshit. ATG 3 Rock 72 says every team misses opportunity. Packers are in a tight bend. I don't cover every other team. I don't cover those teams, and I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about the Lions opportunity. The Lions ain't won a playoff game in I don't know how long, right? Like, so if you want to talk about every team has that problem, cool. But every one of those teams can argue that they've been to the playoff more recent than the Lions. So
and Luke knows me well enough to know that I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If I think the Lions would win, I'd tell them. And I don't think so this time. I saw something in the chat too you didn't mention.
What's that?
At one point, Detroit cut Houston, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. And he's not on a rookie contract anymore.
Nope. So they're going to have to re-sign him.
Yep.
And I think they will get him re-signed. They're the ones that took him. I think they will get him re-signed. That's all I'm saying. Let me bring in my man, Anthony. Anthony from Roar to the Lions UK. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Luke. How you doing? Never miss an opportunity to come and chat with you.
Listen, I got to ask you this question because I know I'm not tripping. Right? Like, I'm sorry. I just feel like it's real convenient that they had all season to flex the Lions game. Right? When the Lions was 7-7, they could have flexed the game versus the Panthers. right? They could have flexed so many other games. They didn't. Are you happy that they flexed this game to a night game? I'm not. I get that everybody got to play in the cold weather, but this is bullshit.
Well, Luke, when games get flexed, they get flexed very late here. So the game kicks off at 1:20 a.m. where we are. So
so that
we are going to be going. we are going to be going all through the night. But you know what? I want this for this team. I've been asking for them to be flexed, and why? Because I think this team needs to be put under the bright lights. It needs to be put under pressure to see if it cracks and to see if it can deal with it. I don't want to be, good teams don't play at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. They play in the late games. They play in the primetime games. This is an opportunity for us to go to Lambeau, beat the Packers. Whether it gets us in the playoffs or not, I don't really care at this point. I want us to go there and play well. And at the end of the day, right now, we are a better team than Green Bay, full stop. We have the better quarterback who is playing better than Aaron Rodgers. We have the better offense that's playing better than theirs. Is our defense on its day can be good. We're strong where they're weak. We match up well against them. And for me, I want to go there and kick their ass, regardless of what happens. And right now, with a better team, they're writing us off saying, oh, you're no good, the cold weather, all that. Oh, give over with that. The San Francisco 49ers who play in the hot weather went there and killed them. We've got an offense that is dynamic. We've got an offense that can pull out all the tricks in the book, and that's what hurt them that day. We can go there with no pressure on our shoulders and put on a show, and that's what I want this team to do. It's got to learn to play in the primetime games and win. So give me no better end to the season than this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Listen, I'm all for the energy. Like, I'm all for the energy to say, like, I want this moment, I want this and stuff. But I'm just thinking to myself, this defense lost their spirit in Carolina cold. Like, this
you've got to take things into account, Luke. They just had their ass kicked the week before. So, kind of what we did to Chicago. You've got the perfect storm there. You've got the fact that the team's on a large winning run. The pressure, did the pressure get to them? Absolutely it did. But, it's a young defense, Luke. We talk about this. The entire defensive line is rookies and journeymen we've got from elsewhere. Your linebackers, a 6th rounder from this year, a 4th rounder from last year, Anzalone. Your secondary, undrafted free agent in his 2nd year, 3rd round pick this year, safety. It's going to have issues, but at the end of the day, it plays well on an occasion. And we had a blip. But over the past 6 weeks, it's played better, more than it's played bad. And, you need these games. Even if we get whipped next week, it'll be a thing for the team that when they've lost, they've shown they can learn from it. And they're going to need these situations because eventually we're going to be playing in these games regularly and hopefully we're going to start winning them. So, it could be bad, but this Packers offense ain't good. It really, really isn't. And compared to what it's been in recent years, it's vulnerable, and it's there for us to have a go at. Our defensive line right now is our strength. And you can stop that run game. The pass game ain't the best it's ever been. We have an opportunity, and that's okay. There's no favorite in this one.
Old timer Dave, what do you say to that? You the Packer guy. I mean, Anthony said I ain't got nothing to worry about.
He's absolutely right. We're definitely not the offense we have been in the past few years. But that said, the offense also has been getting better. Take away the one special teams touchdown, and we still won 34-17.
Okay. Daryl Thompson says, Luke, I told you not to sleep on Carolina, but you poo-pooed it. Yes, I did. I thought we was going to steamroll their ass. I thought the same thing we did to the Bears, we was going to do to the Panthers, and I expected them to do that, and they laid an egg. That loss hurt more than the New England one. When the team can run the ball down your throat like that, that's a rough moment for you, for real. So, good call on that one. I expected them to beat the brakes off of them. They didn't come through. It happens. I mean, y'all making me feel a little bit better about it being flexed.
Not a big deal, Luke. 7 degrees. It's the only difference.
Yeah, but that's right now. See, you and I know that weather is like Michigan. That shit changed in a heartbeat. You know it.
Well, I know. I grew up there, so.
So like the Michigan and Wisconsin had those same moments where like stay long enough and it could go from summer to winter in like 5 minutes. And so,
see, Luke, they always talk about the weather and say it's a thing, but Tampa have been there and won in recent years. San Francisco's been there and won in recent years. It means nothing. They choke just as much there as the weather affects other teams. And again, this is a case of you do though. You really do. And again, when you struggle is against these offenses that can do things different, and ours can. We've got the rush attack, we've got the pass attack, we've got a quarterback who's completely in form. And the reason the Packers have done a lot better recently, that defense gets a lot of takeaways. I think it's 12 in the last 4 games.
Yep.
What has Jared Goff been really good about recently? Keeping the ball, the running backs, keeping the ball. We don't turn the ball over, really. Other teams that you've played, the Bears, the Vikings, they're not exactly the best teams in the world. We're better than those guys. I just think we are. And
I won't argue that point. I will not argue that point. I didn't say it was going to be easy.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying everyone's saying that we've got no chance in hell up there and that it's the cold. And I disagree. I just think our team right now is at least equal. And I think that it's got less pressure on it because, and especially if the Seahawks win, we're playing for pride at this point. But you've seen the team and how it's developed this year, how it has reacted to adversity, and it has gotten better every single time. So, I feel more confident about winning a game at Lambeau than we did when we had Stafford, just because of how hard this team plays and the weapons we have at our disposal now.
Gunner, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he making me feel better. I saw that time switch. And I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. Like they could have flexed so many other games.
Not really.
Didn't.
There really wasn't any.
Well,
you mean like other weeks?
Yeah, they could have flexed.
Oh
so
yeah,
many
for sure.
ones.
Like I thought that Vikings game we had the second time should have been flexed, but
yeah, we could have flexed that. Like,
yeah, but now you're in week 17, Luke. Tell me which game that you would have picked out of this week to flex other than this one.
no, none of them. The other ones are trash.
The Saturday flexes are garbage. I don't know why they're on there. There's some horror.
Right? The Chiefs Raiders? Like, who cares, bro? They
Yeah, no one cares.
I mean, yes, the number one seed for the NFC still is not settled.
The Titans Jaguars, I kind of get, but the Titans are brutally injured. They're going to get killed. They're going to get killed by the Jaguars.
Keep in mind.
Titans Jaguars, I can see flexed simply because that's going to be for the NFC South.
Right.
But the Jaguars are still going to kill them, though. Like, the Titans are they're starting, what's that Dobbs dude again? They start him again. They ain't even start Malik Willis.
Listen, I want to say this. Ultimate Day make a good point, right? In terms of them doing it. I just hate that it's us who get flexed to that late game. I just don't want to.
Like all the games now they flex.
It's not a flexes. Like, that's what's burning me up inside. Like,
wouldn't you rather be this team put in this situation, Luke? I mean, if they're going to be a team that wants to go to the playoffs and win championships, you've got to put them under pressure. What does a 1:00 game just hidden amongst the rabble do? It does no good. Super Bowl winners don't come from playing 1:00 on Sundays all the time. You have to. This is pressure situation. How many times have we lamented going to Lambeau and we've got nothing to play for? It's the Packers playing for a seed, or they've wrapped one up and they're playing the backups. That's no good for us. Winning those games means nothing. You go there and win this one when it means something to both teams. That is the kind of result which just sets your trajectory of your team in a completely different direction, in a good one. You need to put this team under pressure because you said, Luke, your timeline is a lot shorter than everyone else's. This is year 2, and you're just kind of saying we should have already wrapped up the playoffs. The expectations are high. Well, if your expectations are high, why don't you want the team put under the pressure of the primetime game?
At this point, I'm at this point, I want the road of least resistance. That's the truth. And that I'm at a point now.
But that don't make a winner, Luke.
I know it don't, but you know what the reality is this. At this point, most people already had them at 6 or 7 games. And I was like, look, I feel like we should have had double digits. And they go out there, and I feel like it really does aid an advantage to the Packers to have that game be played later that night, because I think it does yield itself a little bit of a different atmosphere for the Lions. My reality is I still think we beat them, though. Make no mistake. I still think we beat them because I'm going to tell you the truth. The biggest piece that makes me confident we beat them is James Houston.
Hey, he's the best player on the planet.
Because in my opinion, When everybody's making up these false narratives and want to pull Pro Football Focus BS out, I'm just telling you, we watch them games. The Bears wasn't double teaming trying to stop Aiden. They were trying to stop James.
They move him around.
Who, James?
Houston.
They flip flop
a little bit, yeah.
While you're right, Luke, Houston is the thing. It's more than him. It's your trenches. It's both your trenches. They're the things that absolutely annihilated the Bears the other day. If you want to beat the Packers, you've got to beat them on both sides of the ball in the trenches. So it'll not just be Houston. Each and every single one of them is going to need to have a great game, but they are capable of doing that. We've seen them do that.
But Houston to me, like I have a friend who's a Bear fan, right? And we always bat and talk trash, right? And he was confident. He was like, "Man, we finna, y'all can't stop." And I said, "Listen, you're gonna have a real big problem, a whole lot of problems." And he was like, "Well, you crazy? What you talking about?" And I told him, I said, "All that stuff you was doing early in the season ain't finna pop with James Houston." I said, because he's gonna be able to close and create issues that forces you into some uncomfortable situations. And when I look at James Houston going into this game, I'm sorry. I feel more confident that he can disrupt the game by getting to the quarterback more than what anybody else on our D-line can.
Pascal made it twice. You're forgetting about Pascal as well.
No, I'm not forgetting. I'm not forgetting about Pascal. I'm not forgetting about Aiden. I'm not forgetting about McNeil. I'm not forgetting about none of them. What I'm telling you is a lot of them did their duties. Even the Pascal, one of his sacks came because Romeo Core destroyed the tackle. And we know that their line is not there. I'm not basing this just off of what happened against the Bears. I'm taking the body of work of our players thus far in the season, and I'm saying, look, we can really do some things that gonna be different. But for me, it starts with James Houston. I'm telling you right now, if James Houston don't get off, watch what happens, because I don't trust our secondary. I don't trust them, right? I just don't.
They're going to have to play him out the left side.
They about to figure it out. As long as he's out there, I'm good.
So what? Not again on the right tackle or not on Bakhtiari?
Yeah, you don't want him on Bakhtiari. Bakhtiari will beat him. Even as old and as slow as he is, he'll still get him. He'll figure it out. He's too smart.
Hey, I tell you what. As long as we got dog, I'm good. Listen, James Houston, how everybody fell in love with M-Rod and all these excuses. I ain't got no excuse for James Houston. I see why he earned his name The Problem. It's legitimately a real name he should have. Speaking of nicknames, I gotta ask this unusual question as a sidebar because it's funny to me, right? So in my Discord, somebody was saying that they call Brock Wright, they call him Big.
Oh no, stop it. No, we ain't doing that. No, I couldn't.
You saw the message, man.
I did see it. We ain't even go explore that. Just stop.
Dude, there's no way. I'm like,
he ain't the first person. He ain't the first person to be called that either. Let's slow it down.
It's just so weird. Big cock Brock. I could never. I'm sorry. I would never call him Big Play Slate. Cool. Big cock Brock. What the hell is that? It's just weird. I just want to put it out there. Sidebar. My bad. I just couldn't do it. All right, people. Let me switch gears again. The link is in the description. So if you want to jump in on this, let's do it. I gotta ask y'all the question. I'm just curious. Starting off with you, Anthony. Do Aiden Hutchinson win Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I think he should certainly be in the conversation for it.
But does he
genuinely? No, because he plays for Detroit. And I know it sounds stupid, but I think you generally do, because you've got to look at his play, his body of work, and I know the interceptions are in there, but you've got the pressures, you've got the sacks, and you've got how he's improved against the run game. I mean, he markedly improved against the Bears, especially against Justin Fields. His discipline was top-notch when it came to sealing the edge. He's becoming a complete player in all facets of the game, and to do that in year one, is quite an achievement. More interceptions than Gardner. I know it's a completely different thing, but he's affecting the game in the pass. He's affecting the game in the run. He's affecting the pass rush. he's excelling in a lot of different versions of the game.
Just give it
And
to
the
James
others,
Houston.
it's kind of one there. So, yeah, Houston will be in that conversation as well. Obviously not had the snap count over the season, but Aiden should be in that conversation for sure. And I think if he has a big one this weekend, he sacks Rodgers a few times and we win, I think that he could well win it. And I think he would deserve to win it on his body of work.
Okay, all right. Listen, Gunner, what do you say? What say you, sir? Do you think that Aiden Hutchinson wins Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I agree with Anthony. I think he absolutely should be in the conversation. His numbers certainly earn him that right, along with him and Sauce. Even Tariq Woolen has played phenomenal this year as a 5th-round pick. Hell, you can throw James Houston in there. He's had 6 games. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry. Let me bring him in. My man, Dr. Christopher. He made sure he put the doc on there. We got to make sure we put that up on the building. So I love when people come on that's not usually on, and so let me let him in. I'm gonna let him talk his talk. You can cut your camera off too, Doc, if you want. It's up to you. You can leave it on. It's all up to you. All right. But I'm finna bring you on in. We got my man, Dr. Christopher Ben Johnson III. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Man, welcome to the show. Now I gotta ask, because you got the doc on the front. Is it real?
Yes, sir. It's real.
Hey, salute to you, brother. That's what I'm talking about. I love it when I see him, baby. Let's go. What you got for us, man?
Well, I've been listening to you for a while. I'm old school, and I listen, and I look at the team and see all the holes. You usually would be right about, like, for example, the quarterback. When you look at Dan Campbell, his face, he wish he had a quarterback like Allen. So when you look in the future of what's going on with the Lions, if they don't draft the quarterback that can run and throw, a prototype, they're not going to go but so far. When you look at what's going to go on at the Lambeau, you're going to tell it's going to be a heavyweight fight. But can golf take us to the next level? That's the whole key. Because when you're playing football like I have, it's good to win all the games during the season. But when it comes down to the heavyweight fight, can you take us where we need to go as a leader? So when you look at that situation and you look at what Holmes, as far as the when I'm listening to you, as far as the general manager, he did a great job. I don't know what people are talking about. I moved and I'm in Atlanta now, but I'm still a Detroit Lions fan. I moved because of situation. But when I looked at it, I always was a Lions fan being there. But when you look at the situation, we never had this type of success in a long time and having a culture built. This is a dynasty being built. They just don't have the patience, the fans. This is a dynasty being built now, right before your face.
Listen, first of all, shout out to you. All right, you come in with the heat. You know, I can't begin to get mad at nobody. I just, again, philosophically, I do have a more old mindset of thinking when it comes to the sport, because I believe history repeats itself too often, and I pay attention to patterns. Okay, do I think we need another quarterback? I do. I think for the reasons you pointed out, that having somebody who can change the pace up and do those things, it makes a huge difference. But I also look at it and I say, you know what? Yeah, they are building it in the right way. I can say that. But my only issue, whenever I talk about Brad Holmes, and my issue with Brad Holmes is simply this, is Brad Holmes got here, and before he got here, the biggest problem was defense. That was the single biggest problem. And it was that way for the last 2 years before he got here. We're 2 years into what he's doing, and the still biggest problem on this team is defense. That is all I'm trying to have the fan base see and understand when talking about it, because what they do is they immediately jump to fire Dan Campbell. They immediately jump to fire Aaron Glenn, fire this guy, fire that guy. But we're not talking about Brad Holmes. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't just look at drafts. Look at the moves in free agency. That go into it. All those, in my opinion, factor in. So I'm not trying to directly pick on the guy for the hell of it. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at the GM and he's coming in trying to fix something, I felt like he started fixing the roof when the foundation was broke.
Okay, can I ask you something? I'm just saying this, guy. This year, do they have any salary cap money?
They had the 6th most salary cap coming into the offseason of free agency with $36 million.
Okay. So when you look at that, I'm just saying in the future, I believe that he wanted to see exactly what he can do and what Campbell said. Campbell, to me, is a coach that has to have players that buy into his system and have people that he trusted. You are correct that they should have looked at the defense. That's like common sense. Stevie Wonder could have saw that. But they was looking at certain situations where they thought, I guess, that all these different things that was going on. Far as the linebackers, you're right. I'll listen to you. These linebackers are trash. And when you looked at them, I don't know what they see versus what we see, but they don't have no outstanding linebackers at all. When they draft this year, they got to get linebackers. They got to get a corner. They got to get a safety because that's what they missing. When you look at the quarterback, look at all the games that they lost. If that quarterback in 3 or 4 games could ran and got 10 or 15, 20 yards on his legs, they would have won about 4 more games. It's just 2 or 3 plays in all them games. If you look, if the quarterback could have ran and got a first down, 2 or 3 first downs with his legs, look where they would have been at. Listen,
you make some good, strong points. I can't argue with your points. And in that reality, in that regard, but I felt that there was at least 3 games off the top of my head where I'm like, if you score 45 points, you don't lose. I don't. That just don't happen. It's not, I mean, hell, it happened today to USC. You score 45 points and lose 46-45.
That's crazy.
You know,
and Michigan.
In Michigan. So it's like you should not lose these games. I'm just putting it out there. But I do hear what you're saying, Doc. I appreciate you for talking and coming on and rocking with me and showing support. Like I said, I don't have a problem. I'm not always 100% right, but I support my views and I make sure that when I give my views, it's supported with the evidence that I'm seeing. If people agree with it, they do. If they don't, they don't. For me, a take ain't just what you say in the moment. It's how does it age over time. It's like it's like wine, baby. If it age over time, it's a very good take. If it don't age over time, it ain't a good take. So it is what it is. We'll find out if what I'm saying ages over time, and if it don't, I'll be the first to tell you I was wrong, and I can admit that. Let me get my humble pie in, my crow, and chew it down. That's 100%. So if you want to...
I believe you, but I just wanted to say this. I like your content. I've been listening to you
Appreciate
for a while and going on. Like I said, this is a dynasty being built. If you can't see that, when you could take a draft like this of even a 6th round, scoring 8 sacks, and last week when they lost last week in Carolina, Houston was at the quarterback by 3 or 4 different other times. Can you imagine what he would have did if he had a couple more sacks? They have an outstanding team coming up, and you can see it. And they building a culture. Regardless of whatever's going on, it's a culture being built. When the culture is being built like this from the ground level, brother, that's all they need is a few more other pieces and more some defense. You can't. The next year, you ain't gonna even know they the same. They gonna take 2 levels higher. You can see it. You can feel it. That you can see what they're doing. If they doing this now, and a few more players, and they get this defense, and that offense is already potent, and they just add a running back or something, another word. Oh my God, man, what are you gonna be at?
Listen, I'm picking up what you're putting down, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I always have to sit back and wait. Like I said, for me, my takes ain't about if they're gonna be good at the moment. Are they going to be good after the fact? And so, everybody loving you right now, so that's code for me to let you know you got to come back. Don't be I know doctors got a real hard schedule, right? I don't know. Yes. I don't know if it's dental, if it's medical, whatever. But it's
I'm a doctor. Deal with psychology. I deal with patients. I mean, dealing with different individuals.
I'm not you in my realm. You in my
Yeah.
realm. I had to break down what my realm is a little bit later, but you in my realm. Okay.
Okay.
All right, but listen, if you want to hang on just for a second and stay a part of this discussion, you can. If you don't, I totally understand. You have an open invitation to return. I have always left it open to even people who disagree with me to come back and tell me I'm an a-hole. It's perfectly fine. Like, like I get it, right? So
I'm gonna stay on, but I don't think you're a-hole. I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying, but you got to see the destiny. You got to see the dynasty.
Listen, I see it because it does. I can see some of the similarities to how when we started getting buried, but it's just those other little things that I got tired of fans trying to fire everybody else except for the guy who could have really changed the fortunes of us losing those games. Let me bring in our next guest really quick. Okay. My man C. Perry is up in the building. Except for the guy who could have really changed the fortunes of us losing those games.
You don't need to mute
Let
that.
me bring in our next guest really quick. Perry. My man C. Perry is up in the building. Except for the guy who could have... I'm gonna give him a minute to mute it because I swear I can hear the whole thing.
Well, especially since you just said it, you know.
I know, right? Yeah, right.
Bro.
All right, you ready?
Can you hear me?
There you go. I can hear you, Perry. What you got for the show, brother?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, brother. I can hear you. What you got for the show?
Yeah, you can hear me. So, Luke, I've been following you for quite a while, man. Yeah, you can hear me. So, Luke, I've been following you for quite a while, man.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Perry, I can't hear you now.
All right, I'm back. I had lost you for a minute.
All right, there you go.
So I've been following you for quite a while, bro.
Okay.
And some of your views, some of your takes, I don't quite agree with all the time.
Fair.
End of the day, I still love you like a brother.
Appreciate that.
And I can appreciate things you're saying. But let's get to it. First thing is simply, I don't agree with the take that everybody, this weather is going to keep us from winning. We went to the Meadowlands twice this year and racked up on people in the Meadowlands. I was at one of the games. And I don't see how in Green Bay, and it's not going to be as cold as it usually is in Green Bay. I don't see how that's going to affect the way we play.
Okay.
What you think about that?
I think my biggest issue is of all the games that they could have flexed, why this one? And I think that by flexing that game to a night game, it does aid itself in giving an advantage to the Packers. Now, keep in mind, I still picked us to win the game. Right? I still picked up to win the game. But I want to stump them out. Is what I want to do. You know what I mean? So that's
I've been following you for quite a while, bro.
Wait.
You gotta mute your phone.
You gotta mute the phone, Perry. Yeah, so you gotta just mute the phone. I'll give you a second. I got you muted just so you can get your phone thing, and then when you're ready, I'll bring you back.
Just gotta mute the stream.
Yeah, you just gotta mute the stream, but pretty much. So let me give him a second so he can get that together. But no, I'm not saying that because we're going to play in the cold, we're going to lose. I think we're still going to win. I think we're still going to win. Now, our residential Packer fan says we're going to lose.
He does.
and he also said that we was going to beat the Packers earlier in the year, and we did. Our residential Packer fan says we're going to lose. So you gotta mute your phone, Perry. We want to beat the Packers earlier in the year.
Bro, you gotta mute the stream. Gotta mute the stream, bro.
Yeah, you gotta mute the stream. Yeah, because the feedback is coming back. So I'm gonna give him a minute and then I unmute him. But Doc, I mean, I don't think I said that we was gonna lose the game. I could have swore I said that we was gonna win.
Yeah.
Like I thought that I said that, but
I think they're going to win. I'm just speaking because they learned from the North Carolina game. See, once you go through something like that and playing that code and get embarrassed like that, now they know how to adjust to the weather. Now they know how to adjust to the psychological aspect of it. That's all I want to say.
All right, Perry, you back? No, Perry, come on. You was ready to get
Forget about Perry. No, I'm just joking.
Look, Perry, you back?
Yes, I'm back.
All right, go ahead, man. Talk your talk.
Come on.
I can't hear him.
Come on, you a lion, man. Come on. Growl.
Right, I can't.
So I got a question for everybody on the panel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone.
I listen. I'm trying. I don't know what's going on. I really wanted to question, but yeah. Let me go get one more question down because I want to try to keep it moving along, right?
Yes, sir.
And hopefully Perry rejoins back.
Yes, sir.
Because now you bring up an interesting point of the dynasty, the building of a dynasty. What are these key points that you see in the building of this dynasty? What are you seeing like? Because usually when a dynasty is built, there are key points. If I think about the Dallas Cowboys, I can go back and remember the picks that they took to build a dynasty. And then what they did was they went full-fledged, like sold out, brought in Charles Harris, brought in Dion. So my question is, what are these key pieces that you see that's building the dynasty, Doc? And then I'm going to ask that to everyone else because I'm curious to what is he seeing?
Well, when I see the dynasty, I look back, and I'm older than you, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The draft that they had and the draft that they had when they got all these players and that one 1974, I was little then, but I seen the draft and how the general manager knows the scope of what he's doing. I've seen that in how he drafted, and everybody complained or said certain things about it. Now you can see the draft. Now you see the culture of the coach that the players are buying in. That's the key. That's the key revelation in this, and getting the players that you need. Have they got all the players? No, but you can see with the players that they have that is buying into the system. And then once you start that system and building that system together, everything you come in has got to be the prototype of the type of players, the type of people that really want to play for a city like Detroit. And now that he has that customized way that we're going to bite the legs and we're going to do whatever we can to win. Players are coming here, and the players that they drafting are intelligent and also understand that when they draft players, they seeing that they got that attitude. Do they got that hard work attitude for a blue collar city? They're investing in people who had that blue collar mentality, also with the intelligence, and also that they're coachable. So all this stuff that they building is building and based on not having one superstar. That's what's wrong when the Pistons used to win. They didn't have superstar. They had a lot of players.
Correct. Yeah. Right.
So let me say one thing more. When you had the Tower of Babel, God came down. I'm just using this, and he conformed the language. Why? Because they became one. When you become one with your coach and with the culture and with the manager, and y'all on the same page, flowing at the same time with the same information, there's nothing that you can't do. Every great team, they came together and they thought the same. They had the same vision, and they flowed together. The Lions are coming together from the top to the bottom. They all on the same page. They all in the same harmony, and watch what they do.
Okay. All right. Perry is back. We're going to hopefully get it together. Perry.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got it. We got it fixed, man.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I had to log off and log back in.
All right. So you say you got a question for the panel.
Yes. So with the progress that we've made so far this year, what should we address as far as player personnel? Because I like our D-line. I like our pass rushing. Our linebackers is a little sus. I could agree with you on that, Luke.
A little.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, don't nitpick me. Don't nitpick me, man. Come on. We know what it is. We see every week.
That's true. This is true.
We're getting gashed in the run game, and they can't cover worth a squat. So we know what we got.
Okay.
But
so you
it's not a lot of talent as I see coming out of the college ranks as far as linebackers.
Okay, so what you're saying is with the personnel. I'm gonna start with you, Anthony, because Anthony watched way more college than me. I watch college games, but then I watch them based on prospects that I think the Lions would be interested in, and then I started really diving in deep once the season over. Mm-hmm. Anthony, what do you think the personnel issues that we got to address immediately? Because I think the answers is easy for me.
I mean, for me on defense, it's not through the draft. It's you need veteran talent on the defense, and I've been talking about this for a while now. The offense is really good because we had good veterans on there who have mixed with all the young talent we've brought in onto this team. Your Deckers, your Ragnows, even Goff has been playing really well. Intersperse it with all that talent, it's become really good. What are the Lions lacking on defense? Leadership. There's no leadership at any level of this defense. We saw it in the Carolina game. There was no one on the field to drag them out of their slump, to make a big play, to bring them all forward. You know, we've got a lot of young talent on that defense. You've got to seriously invest in your vets. We've been let down by Brockers. We've been let down by Jamie Collins. We've been let down by God knows how many guys in the secondary who've not stood up and performed in their role as a veteran. You've got to have some established talent on there to work with all these young guys. So number one personnel priority in the offseason is getting some damn leaders on that defense to lead all the young guys forward. After that, you go into the draft. The draft is very defense heavy this year, very, especially in the first round. And we got 2 picks there. So go and find 2 guys who are great. It doesn't matter where you're at. You've got a load of good corners in there. You know, maybe some linebackers in there. You've got defensive line to keep adding the depth in. That's where you got to go. Just keep building in your trenches because, as the good doctor said, you know, these Pittsburgh teams built through the trenches, they're nasty, they're mean. That's the way we're going. You want to keep adding to that. You want to keep this D-line being ferocious on top. So leadership first, keep going for your trenches afterwards.
Okay. My answer is more simple than that. It just is. You need a dog inside linebacker. I believe that every great defense had the middle of their field shored up on offense and defense, right? But on defense, they always had a stout D tackle, a stout interior linebacker, and a safety.
Lawrence Taylor, Michael Singletary, like
I'm saying if you get those 3 pieces, everything flows normal. And to show you how crazy it is, I hate to say it, but the Bears used to have that. They used to have Hakeem Hicks. Yeah. They used to have Roquan Smith. And then at safety, they had Amos. And then they end up adding some more safeties. And in the minute they started breaking those pieces down piece by piece, you have a defense that looks like crap. So to me, I want those interior guys. Like, that's for me. That's just me. Gunner, what do you say? Like, who's that positional or personnel person that we need to add? This is a question coming from Perry.
I mean, yeah, it's just linebacker and DB. Those are our 2 biggest positional needs this offseason. You're losing a lot of corners through free agency, even though they weren't good anyways, but you still need to replace them. We need to I believe Anzalone's on a 1-year deal, so you need to replace him. And the draft has players you can do that. Like Anthony says, a lot of corners you can take. There's the kid from Oregon. There's Joey Porter. I know a lot of people are down on Kelly Ringo because of that one game, but AJ Terrell had a terrible game against LSU, and he's one of the better corners in the league now. So I won't be down on him just because he went up against arguably the best wide receiver in the country. But AJ Terrell also went against Jamar Chase and Jefferson, and he fell to the middle of the first round when he probably should have been the first one taken.
What say you, Doc? I mean, who do you have that we personnel wise that we should target first?
And the gentleman up front, I'm trying to see his name, said it right with the leadership. When you look at Ray Lewis and you look at all the leaders, when you have great leaders, even going in basketball, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, you got to have leaders that also bought in what the coach has already ushered out. And when you get that leadership and leading, and you add the players with it, they're going to follow. You need that great leader in the middle or corner say, hey, this is what we got to do. This is where we got to go and help us take us to the promised land. Ray Lewis did it all the time. They feared him, the whole team, and they followed suit. You get a strong, crazy ass linebacker or something that ain't playing, that come in there and get these guys going in the right direction and keep them that way. That's what we need. Leadership.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one of my knocks on the fact that we don't have that, but hey, what can I say, right? Right. Dr. Detroit wants to know who's the player that I have in mind. I'm talking draft indirectly because the season is not over. When the season is over, you can ask me every draft question and I'll answer it without issue.
We still gotta wait for the position.
Well, I like the way this is going. I mean, we could go free agents.
Yep.
No,
I mean, as
listen,
long as it get addressed, that's what's most important.
but see, that's my thing. The word that you said, as long as it gets addressed, that's it, right? And I wanna take a sidebar because this right here I feel like is more important than football. Giovanni Lyons has a question for you, Doc. He says, "I'm working on my doctorate now for psychology. Where can I find funding?"
I mean, funny comes in when you got to find out exactly. What I did is again, I worked and paid my way. I worked as a federal correctional agent. I'm just telling officer rather, and I paid my way. I really didn't get any funding. I just paid and worked a lot of overtime in that type of area, you know, and I was in the prisons always, you know, getting into scraps and stuff and whatever. But I ended up tearing my leg up, but I paid for my stuff. Sometimes you got to look and see what's out here. You got to go through the find out what exactly was out here for scholarships and things for the school itself, and look at what you can actually get. I didn't go that route, so I can't tell you a story or anything. I paid a lot of money, my brother.
Yeah, I did the same thing when I went to school. I didn't get my doctorate, but when I got my higher degree, I just paid everything out of pocket.
Yeah,
I worked the 2 jobs and just did everything out of pocket. But yeah, you know, I wanted to do that because it was a question he had, and Detroit says, yeah, as long as they address it, I'm cool. That's my only thing. As long as they get addressed, I'm cool. But they can't address it with just meh players. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't with the meh players, right? Like, I'm sorry, there are certain people that y'all ain't gonna like it. Ellis Anzalone should not return.
Agree.
He should not.
But when you say meh, Lou, this is where we kind of go different directions. All right, and that's me putting it mildly.
Okay, I respect it.
So,
hey,
Luke, we are young. Like, the whole squad is young. These boys are learning on the fly. New coach, new organization, new front office. These young men are learning. Everybody ain't Sauce Gardner, bro. Everybody ain't gonna just come in the league and dominate like that, man. But sometimes you come at my GM like he's some kind of bum, bro. He's hit more than any GM we've ever had in our history.
Wait a minute. We still gotta let the years play itself out. That's fact. What I don't subscribe to 1 year, or that's not enough. It's
you say that, and you say I'll give you that because you say that all the time.
But what I'm saying is,
you say that, and
I thought based on what he was saying that he was taking Sauce Gardner or Kyle Hamilton. I knew it was one of those two. He took Aiden, whatever. Right? I'm not mad. I root for any person who's on this team. But when I point out the Lions, when I point out the Lions GM and my issues with him, it's only based on the fact that if I come in, like I said, if you hired me to fix the brakes on your car, right, and I fix your tail lights, you're gonna be kind of pissed because you brought the car to me to fix the brakes, and I fixed something totally different. Well, that's how I feel he did. I feel that he did everything in his power to double down and prove that Jared Goff is this quarterback of this team for the future. He did. If you look at the amount of picks and resources and free agency invested, they were all on the high end invested into the offense.
I think it's a matter of not that he ignored it, and he intentionally went after something else. He wanted to build the trenches. It's not that he said, forget this. We ain't never going to address this. I'm going to start here and let's grow from there. And it wasn't that, we some of them players, it's suspect. They still ain't performing like they great. They're performing moderately.
But what you said, can I say this? If you didn't get
I see you in the back, Joe. Just hold tight. I'm gonna bring you in.
Okay, can I say this? If you didn't get the quarterback together psychologically and get the players that he needed, where would we be? So he worked on his psychic of the quarterback and letting him know that I give you these type of players. Out now, you don't have no excuses no more about playing. So he worked on his psychic. The manager, which was brilliant, the general manager, because he had to get his head together first. Then from that point, he said we're gonna work on the defense. Because if he worked the opposite way, where would we have been? Gotcha.
I think we would have been okay. Let me bring in Joe Lewis, and then, like I said, I'm gonna get to the next question to bring it on. And I still got more questions for Old Timer Dave, because Old Timer Dave watches the Packers way closer than I do. Although I do got an eye on them, but yeah, we got to talk about that too. My man Joe Lewis 313 is in the building. What's going on? And
What's
really
going on, fellas?
Not much, Joe. Hold on, give me a second. Joseph says, Bruno, yeah, he made you look foolish. How did Bruno make me look foolish? And if you remember my projection for his sacks, I said that if he's the guy, he should have 10 sacks. And I said my expectations is he should have 10 sacks because he has an extra game. How does he make me look foolish? I still root for him.
I can I interject on that one?
Yeah.
Are sacks just as important as takeaways?
Yes.
Yeah. So wouldn't them 3 interceptions count as sacks then?
Nah.
I mean, yeah. You can look at that, right? You can look at those 3 interceptions and say
that's what I'm saying, bro.
No, listen.
Give my man a break.
Hold on, listen. We can look at that and say that those count as that, right? But when you look at what puts people in Defensive Rookie of the Year, what puts people in All Pros, what put people in Pro Bowls and all the other BS awards that they come up with, when you look at what that is, it comes down to you coming in to be a guy to get to the quarterback. And at this juncture, you have a guy who was taken in a much later round with way less chances to get it done, and has done absolutely way more in creating those turnovers and problems. And see, what happened was most people panicked and started going to Pro Football Focus and want to talk about pressures. I don't respect Pro Football Focus, and I don't talk about pressures if they don't result in a negative play. That's what I'm saying. But
absolutely.
I don't to sit there and say that, oh, you look foolish and all that.
Nah, you ain't foolish.
Nah, you didn't look. Nah.
Because really, James Houston is outplaying Hutch in terms of a pass rusher. Not overall player, but in terms of a pass rush, most of our pass rush are having a huge effect because of James Houston. That's just fact. Joe Lewis, what you got for the show, bro?
What up, fellas? Anyway, I'm just gonna hear a comment on it because I know everybody said they need linebackers, DBs, but do y'all even trust Brad Holmes choosing a linebacker, even though he said out his mouth he would never draft a linebacker high? Like that literally is like now we stuck on okay, so you gonna focus on either because we needed a safety last year. That's proven. Linebackers, your 6th round pick is a starting linebacker over veterans. So you knew you needed a linebackers in the beginning of the season. You still didn't draft him. Michael Rodriguez, he's inconsistent. Let's be honest.
Wow.
Inconsistent.
I think with his play fell off when he got hurt. When he hurt his elbow, that's when his play really.
Let's not forget he's a rookie.
Exactly. Hold on. That's exactly my point. A rookie is your starting line, not just any rookie. Your 6th round, 4th round rookie is a starting linebacker, and you knew that was the position that you needed to address, and you never addressed it. But you addressed it later on.
Tight end Williams he's not even really significant. He can't even break the starting lineup. So look.
Exactly.
I'm not knocking a lot of the things. I don't like the narrative that he's done just excellent job, and there are some things in there that you can look at that's a little bit different, and I get it. And the fact that he hasn't addressed those positions in the way that they should have been, that to me is what I looked at. I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, I know better, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, the way I'm viewing it, I break everything down exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. Like I said off rip, who's when everything went bad in Carolina, who was the veteran to pull him out of the shit? Who's that guy? Ellis Anzalone?
Nobody.
Right? So that's a problem,
exactly.
Right? So that's a problem.
Yeah, but
it's ironic that rolled over to Michigan.
Oh, geez, don't do that.
it's ironic, and I'm a diehard Michigan guy. It's ironic that rolled over.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me when I look at these games. I'm not trying to I look at a body of work. I look at everything as a big picture, not just a sample size. That's why I'm not crowning nor am I trashing anybody. I'm just simply saying that if you watch Aiden Hutchinson and you thought Aiden Hutchinson had this great significant impact of a season, more power to you. If you think that Aiden Hutchinson is a dog, more power to you. I don't. I think he's had a good season, and that's cool. But I don't see dog written all over him. I don't see that happening. When you're a dog, I feel like people change the way they move for you, and I don't think they do that for Aiden Hutchinson. That's just my
see
view.
him as the penicillin that this team needed at that moment.
Of all the medicine you can give somebody, you went to the
Like
penicillin. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Not
And
aspirin, yeah, not Tylenol, penicillin.
Penicillin.
But you got to look at he was working with golf psychic. See, y'all don't get this. Y'all got to get the big picture. If mine wasn't right, and then have the players and get a chance to see what he actually can do without golf in the head, nothing else would have worked. So he
correction.
Golf. He focused on golf, and that he thought he could put the other players, the other pieces in place. Y'all got to get that. You got to see the picture.
Okay, can we all agree that if Ben Johnson wasn't golf OC, he would still be trash from last year?
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Hey, brother.
If Ben Johnson was not the OC, we would still be over here saying that we need a quarterback. So we just gonna quit that out there. Because last game,
now this is a cop out.
Hold on, wait. If anybody was paying attention, all those balls golf thrown was underthrown, and the wide receivers had to keep coming back to the ball.
That's true.
And that's just the problem. It's not golf. It's the play calling. All them plays is set up for the wide receivers.
Hey, brother,
all those plays is wide. All those plays is set up for wide receivers to get open.
Yes.
He made me take a shot. I had to take a shot behind that one.
That's all play calling. That is not golf. Because every time golf threw the ball, even the slant pass he threw to St. Brown was so underthrown, he had to fall to the ground to even catch the ball. So of course you're gonna complete 80% of his passes. Because they're all short throws.
We got good receivers. Somebody getting taken out.
I know, right? Look, if you got good receivers and a good OC, of course the quarterback is going to look good. But let's just face facts. If Ben Johnson wasn't the OC and helping golf out, golf will be trash. Let's just be honest.
Again, keep in mind, people. Keep in mind. I believe that everybody has an opportunity for their viewpoints and everything. And I know that when I see certain things, if you're going to come in and have a view, support it, and you have all shown up and had a view and supported it, I want to hit a few things in the chat. Then I want to ask Old Timer Dave some questions and bounce some things off of him, and because he's talking, the Packers. But Dr. Detroit says Hutchinson has surpassed J.J. Watts and T.J. Watts in sacks.
Wow.
Okay, so this is misleading. Okay,
wait, does he mean just like this year or by their rookie year?
He means by in their rookie year. In their rookie year.
Oh, okay.
And this is misleading. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why this is misleading. Because with this, okay, how can I put this? I don't care if he surpassed J.J. Watt's rookie season in sacks. I don't.
Facts.
And the reason I don't care is because what J.J. Watt did was said, okay, yeah, I had 5.5 sacks that 1 year, and the very next year he dropped 20. So if you're telling me that he's getting ready to drop a 16 sack season, then I'm telling you, oh, okay, great. But you're not going to commit to that. You're not going to say that he's getting ready to drop a season like that.
I think that was kind of always our thing with Hutch when we draft. It's like, hey, if he don't get 10 sacks, that's what we expect of him every other year after his rookie year.
And the reason that I had that expectation for 10 the first season was because he had an extra game. And all the other people who had 10 sacks, Parsons had 13 his rookie year. And they started him out as an inside linebacker, which really slowed his progression down before they finally waited a few weeks after to move him over to outside, and he still got 13. James Houston hasn't started but one game out of his 6 or 7, whatever it is, 6 or 7, and he got 8 sacks. Max Crosby had at that point had only started, I think, 6 games and had 10 sacks. And so
Aiden got 10. Aiden got 10.
Aiden got 10.
He got 10 if you add the 3 interceptions.
No, that's not how that works.
We ain't doing that.
No, that's not how that works. That's like going to get with your lady friend and you telling her you got 10 inches because you added fingers in there. That don't count. It don't work like that. She gonna laugh at you. Right, so my attitude to it is you got to keep it to where it's at.
That was real cruel, right?
What kind of scenario is that?
I'm just
I
saying.
know, right? I know, right?
If we gonna go there, like I just want to put it off. But again,
I'm just saying. I think the interceptions, the takeaway itself is better than the sack. That's a possession. So for you to dismiss it so easily,
I'm not dismissing it. What I'm saying is those are good stats to have. Are you saying that he's a defensive rookie of the year?
Oh, second.
But see, once you tell me he's second, then we're not really talking much, right? Because at that point, even you are not counting those high enough to give him defensive rookie of the year.
No, I'm using your debate because I remember earlier you were talking about Akuda, and you were saying that corner is the hardest position to learn. So
you mean the pass?
How can Sauce Gardner come off the rip and just dominate the way he's doing in the hardest position to learn? So it's kind of hard for me to put them on the same measuring stick. Like if Sauce wasn't in the league and not performing the way he is, and if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, then yeah, I'd give it an Ayton because I don't see nobody else.
So wait, you would still give Ayton the defensive rookie of the year, even over Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
No, thing is though, I wouldn't get Aiden Hutchinson that, because at the same time, the 6th round pick has almost got more sacks than Aiden Hutchinson for 1. 2, he's inconsistent, and 3, your goddamn 6th round pick almost got the same sacks.
He got more.
6 games.
He got more.
He got more, but how many edge rushers got 3 interceptions?
It doesn't matter. He started only 6 games. Just imagine if he would have started in the beginning of the season, he would have had way more sacks than Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, we're gonna be calling Aiden Hutchinson a bust, right?
We've got 2 really great pass rushers.
Who got the most interceptions on our squad?
Why the hell are we arguing when we've got 2 great pass rushers? Why are we arguing who's better than the other? Let's just enjoy the good players.
Yeah.
We're just saying no. I'm saying, does he deserve defensive rookie of the year? I said no, because at the end of the day, he's inconsistent. He don't deserve rookie of the year. That's automatically going to go to Sauce Gardner after the Jets game, because the Lions were scared to throw his way. After that game, they sealed it. Once they didn't throw Sauce Gardner away, they automatically approved that, this rookie is so dangerous that we don't want to throw his way.
And to me, that's amen.
I gotta give you props for that debate, brother. I give it to you.
Because to me, the Lions.
You got
the cause when they refused to target him. I just thought that was ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
exactly. And thing is, they ran the ball on Aiden Hutchinson's side. So most of those big runs that came from Carolina was on his side. The first play on his side.
They can't show them good. A lot of them.
Exactly.
So does everybody agree that Sauce is the rookie? Is the rookie of the year?
I got Sauce or Woolen from Seattle.
Yeah, I got Sauce. I got Sauce.
I got Sauce all day.
I got Sauce too.
Yeah, I got Sauce all day.
Let me switch gears because we're running out of time. I want to get into this question really quick. Old Timer Dave, I know he's been patiently waiting. Old Timer Dave, because this is really where I need to figure out some stuff. How does the Packers beat the Lions?
Well, it definitely won't be the same way we beat Minnesota. We are going to run the ball.
Okay.
They did pay attention to how Carolina ran it. Expect more of it. Our outside run game is a lot better than what Carolina's is. We get there quicker. We have a lot of different schemes just for that. You're going to see probably 1 touchdown from Watson. He will get you over the top, and Rodgers won't miss him.
Okay, so you got it. You basically see where we are in a what's the word I want to use for it? You see where they're going to go and look at that Carolina game and say, "This is how we're going to beat them."
Definitely, they're definitely looking at the Carolina game.
Okay. Anthony? Do you disagree with that? And what do you think about that? If you are coming in trying to beat us, are you looking at the Carolina Panthers game?
Of course you are. You always look towards the more recent appearances, and it's similar. You're going to be in the cold weather. You're away from home. You just see how they sort of turn the knife on you and screw you, of course you're going to look at that game. I mean, I would have no doubt that, you know, the Bears were looking similar, but it's how you react to that performance, how you do it. And I mean, the Bears are a good running team. They're the best rushing team in football, and we kept them to absolutely nothing apart from 2 big Justin Fields runs. But he does that most weeks. It happens. So they can hurt us, absolutely, and they will look at that tape. But conversely, the Lions will have looked at that tape, and you saw last week they fixed the issues that plagued them then, and you would hope that the issues are not there this week.
Okay. Listen, I ain't mad at you. It's Patty Grimes said, that's a hell of a name, with the Yoda stuffy.
I know, right?
He said Sauce has how many interceptions? 2. And he has not given up a touchdown all season.
I'm going to add something to that right there.
What's that?
Sauce Gardner will be your defensive rookie of the year. Simply because everybody in the media since the first game has labeled him as that.
Oh, yeah.
His name has been spread right from day one as the rookie of the year.
And Woolen got 6.
And it ain't going to matter because the media says Sauce Gardner is the best thing that's since peanut butter.
Well,
so when people talk about Sauce and everyone says, oh, he's got no interceptions, but then everyone goes, well, no, but his coverage game has been really good, which is fine, but you're focusing on one part of his game. Well, you're looking at Aiden Hutchinson on the other example. And you know me, Luke. I'd never wanted to pick there. I wanted to go elsewhere. He has 3 interceptions on his book. He has made big plays in the passing game against us. He's a pass rusher who has had success. And he is much better against the run than he was at the start of the season. And you only have to look at the Bears game, the discipline he had against the run, how well he played in that. He is playing well in multiple facets of the game, whereas these other guys, Woolen, I love Woolen. I loved him at UTSA last year. He's got the interceptions on his book, and he's been all right. But these guys are not affecting games in 3 or 4 different ways. They're doing it in one. Hutch is doing it in multiple ways, which for me, that's why you put him in, defensive rookie of the year conversation.
I won't argue that point with you, Anthony. Believe me, I won't. I'm just
saying.
No, I
don't mean that, Dave. I mean
from what I'm seeing is why I'm saying it. The media's got him played it to be already.
Oh yeah, I agree. It plays for Detroit. That's always going to work against him. But you can't just write Hutch off and you're saying, oh well, Gardner, it doesn't matter about his interceptions. It's just one part of his game he's good at. Hutch is good at multiple parts of the game and is affecting multiple aspects of the game, not just one. That is where you look to see where your rookie is having an impact on games.
Well, I have a different scenario about this whole battle.
Okay, what's your scenario? How you see it going out?
Can we agree that Aaron Rodgers is a quitter? Once he gets frustrated, he quits. He quits on his team. He quits on himself. He throws his helmet on the sideline and he sits down and looks at his coach with evil eyes like it's their fault. He blames everybody but himself. And the best way to get to Aaron Rodgers is to strike fast, put points on the board, and go get them. If we do that and stop the run like we did against Chicago, like we did against Saquon, if we do that against Green Bay, we're going to blow him out. It's not going to even be competition because he's going to quit. He's going to quit before the first half.
He's not going to quit. He don't quit on Detroit. Now, he might quit on everybody else, but he ain't going to quit on Detroit. He's making that known. He always.
I mean, he been talking for like 2 weeks about Detroit.
Longer than that. Even way longer than that.
He never.
He did when Detroit since the first Detroit game.
He did when Sue stepped on that ankle.
Now that's a different beast. That's a different beast.
Make him tap out.
The best way to get to Aaron Rodgers is to pay the refs more than they do, so you're allowed to touch him in the first place. You got to pay them so you can touch him.
Nah, that gives me flashbacks to that one Monday night. That gives me
that first hard hit. That first hard hit.
Oh, he flag. No,
that's a
flag coming out.
Flag or not, he gonna quit. He gonna be like, oh no. He gonna be like, forget this. I'm Gucci.
Or he could be like,
let me put this out here. Let me put this out here because I want to point some things out because I do think that this is an important key point here. If Aiden Hutchinson goes out in this game and gets 3 sacks in this game, I think he can win Defensive Rookie of the Year because to me that 10 sack total is what they're going to look at. While I don't think that many people are going to look at and go, oh, he got interceptions. It doesn't matter to people because one of the problems that you have with Aiden Hutchinson, and it wasn't just me, this is just me hearing other people talk about this in the associated media, where they were saying is that a lot of the sacks that he got in that 7.5 were half sacks. They're not like total just whoop ass. When you look at James Houston, he just whooping ass. Like he's beating you 1-on-1. You put 2-on-1, I'm going to force the issue, and he's just winning them 1-on-1. These are not half sacks that are adding up. These are whole sacks. And when they talk about one of the reasons why Aiden is not getting the mention is because he's got so many. He got sacks, but they're all half sacks. Is what they're saying.
Did Houston get both of the African guys cut?
What do you mean?
Wait,
What African guy?
The pass rushers, the brothers.
They got cut. They got cut.
The Aquarius?
No, I'm saying did his performance this year get them cut?
Maybe.
I don't think so, because you're gonna have to see next year how
the Okara brothers.
But they're gonna be planning for Houston next year. We're gonna see, is he still gonna be at the same ability? Because nobody knew Houston. So are they gonna adjust to him next year, knowing that he's capable of doing that? That's when you're gonna really see what's Houston made of. And they're not gonna fire nobody until they see this man, is he for real?
So Doc, you see Green Bay been watching just like we've been watching. So do you think that they're game planning for him?
Yep.
Count on it.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way because we hit the 2-hour mark.
Well, did you hear the story about Chicago was asking not about Hutchinson? They was asking about James. They said the guy got on TV and said they wasn't asking about Hutchinson. Chicago was asking about Houston on a radio show. Who's this guy that we got to watch out for?
Yeah, to me, Houston is. I'm sorry. Everybody talk about, we got to steal with Enrod. Houston is the steal of this draft.
Yes, he is.
I can agree.
Why can't we have multiple steals though, Luke? It doesn't have to be one guy. We've got several steals out with this draft.
Because you know, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The reason why you don't have multiple steals is because it's generally a steal for a reason. It's not generally we got steals with an S. It's just that steal. And to me, I give the steal card to whoever is the most consistent. Houston has been more consistent than Enrod, and Enrod has had starts. And so even in Enrod's start, he has played, but
this is hindsight though, Luke.
Luke, I got a question for you.
Season.
I want you to think about this question, Luke.
Hold on, Perry. I want to hear what Anthony say. Hold on. Go ahead.
This is all hindsight though, Luke. You say that he's better, but Rodrigo has played a full season. Everyone says he's going to drop off. He's going to start getting bad. He had one bad game against the Panthers. For a 6th-round rookie to come in and play as a starter pretty much all season to a high level. I mean, who do you think nearly put Justin Fields through his own chest cavity this weekend? That was Rodrigo putting the hit down on there. He has been consistent over a full season. And I love Houston. I love the pair of them. I don't know why we have this thing about only one can be a steal. To find a guy who comes in and plays as a starter in the 6th round all season is a steal. And to find Houston, who has the attitude to wait half a season on the practice squad, come in, take the opportunity of limited snaps, we should be celebrating this, not arguing about who's better. I mean, the pass rush. When did we last get to argue about who our best pass rusher was? 3 years ago.
That's true.
We only dreamed of having a pass
rusher. We were arguing that our pass rusher was trash.
Yeah. We are arguing that our best pass rusher
hold on. To be fair, Anthony, we know who the best pass rusher on this team is. And his name is James Houston. He's the best pure pass rusher on the team. There's no debate in this, right? But in terms of Enrod has had more than just one bad game. That's just not true. He's had more than one bad game. Two. My only thing is this: when you talk about somebody getting the steal of the draft or whatever like that, you're trying to pinpoint who is that one guy that jumped out that you like. I didn't see that coming. Everybody jumped on the Enrod train, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, okay, cool." I still was never impressed with Enrod because I felt that Enrod was very upgradable. If you lost Enrod, you didn't lose anything. It wasn't like you found some kind of perennial stud there. You found the contributor. That's great. I'm not mad at that. I think that's awesome that you got a contributor. But what James Houston is doing, that right there, right checks. What he's doing, right checks. What he's doing has more impact than what Enrod is doing. And so at that point, I give the steal to him. I don't see 2 steals. I see a contributor and a real steal. That's what I see.
So do y'all think that with this draft, with trusting Brad Holmes building through the trenches, we got a lot of draft capital this year. Do y'all think if we draft like linebacker that's going to upgrade over Rodrigo, you think Rodrigo going to go to special teams?
I'm just saying, I think they'll find a spot for him.
Yep, I think so.
I think they'll find a spot for him. But let's say if they mess around and let's say they get Roquan Smith, just hypothetically, right? There's no real thing in this, but let's say they get Roquan Smith. Right?
I would love that.
And they get Roquan Smith, then they come back and they draft Sewell's little brother, right? Because they love family affairs. Right? Like, I'm not like they do. They like family affairs, but I'm not saying Anthony. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I'm just saying that they did. If they did those 2 picks, I think they would put Emrod to the bench. I just think he's an upgradable player.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Everyone's upgradable though, Luke. Technically,
no, everyone is not. No,
yes,
everyone is not.
Yes, they are.
No,
you get a first-round pick in the draft for any player at any position, you will find maybe a generational player.
Okay, so is Aiden Hutchinson replaceable?
Hold on, Joe. Hold on.
See, Luke, the whole point of this team, we're building from so far back. We build it on young talent, being able to come here, establish their place in a team, and you reward effort with what they have. Rodriguez, and when you said that everyone jumped on the train initially, that's rubbish. Because I called him out in the draft last year, and not many people were on there. They were impressed by his attitude in camp, the way he came in, the way he impressed his coaches. He built up a following before the season, and he's played and repaid that faith in there. You don't just go out and replace a guy like that. What do you think it sends as a message to the locker room? Oh, you can come in. You can far surpass your draft capital here. You can play your ass off all season, have a few bad games. But yeah, sorry, 1 year in, you're replaceable. I'm going to cut you. That's not how Brad Holmes operates. That's not. I'm not saying
cut him. I'm not saying cut him. I'm saying he's a backup. Replace. He's a backup, right? Which means you can replace him as a starter.
There are a lot of teams in the NFL who would take him as a starter. I know you disagree with this.
Name one. Name one.
You give me enough time, I will find them, Luke.
All right, I'll give you. Listen, I'll tell you what. I will give you all the time that you need, and I want
I will, Luke. I do just as much research as you do.
Name one, and I want you to keep in mind. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about starter because somebody's hurt. I'm talking about if all their players were still healthy and there are people that he's coming in and taking their spot. Only Detroit.
Right, the Bears would take him right now. I can damn
no, the fuck they would not.
They would, Luke.
No, they had Roquan Smith. They had people up there first.
Do you think they'll take that linebacker with that weak ass tackle on Swift when he spun out of his third?
Anthony right, bro.
No, he's not right. Listen, hold on, stop, people, stop. Just hear me out for a second. This is not right. We're talking about a guy who came in from day one and started. So if you're talking about a guy who comes in from day one and start, don't come telling me about what the roster is now, which is why I said put all the people back as a healthy scratch and then tell me that he's taking their spot. If you look at the Bears linebacking core when the season starts, Emrod ain't taking nobody's spot.
All I can say,
who are the Bears linebackers, Luke?
All I can say, Luke, is look at your own advice, bro. You sat and talked about how bad our linebacking core was.
It is.
And hold on, just let me finish. He's starting because they shitty. Excuse my French, sorry. They crappy, bro. So if he's the best one out there, he should deserve the starting spot, even though he's a rookie and still learning the job.
I don't care about the rookie status. The rookie status is not my issue. What my issue is when I look at a player who's replaceable, like for example, right? Technically, Alex Anzalone is playing his ass off. I still will upgrade from him.
Yes, amen to that.
So at the end of the day, yeah, he's playing his ass off, right? Because he ain't got no choice. But his standard of playing his ass off is not the same. And when I look at what he's done, you're not going to tell me that you don't want to upgrade from Alex Anzalone. And when I look at that, I say the same thing when I look at Emrod. He's not somebody that you just look at and you go, this right here, it's going to change. No, it's not what he is.
But did you know who the starting linebacker is after Roquan Smith for the Bears this season, Luke? It's a guy named Jack Sanborn. Do you want to know where he came from? Undrafted free agency this season.
I know.
In the draft.
I know.
And you were telling me Rodriguez is not going to start over him.
No, he wouldn't have. No.
Yes. He
No,
was
he
a cable installer, Luke, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have.
Luke,
do
I
not-
love you to death. I love you to death, Luke. But
I do
Rodrigo,
not
you've been on his case. You have been on his case since day one.
He
Amen.
is about as average of a linebacker I've ever seen.
But see, Enrod got intelligent. Why he got the position he did
Yeah.
as a rookie, he understood the position better than everybody else that was in the Lions camp. He has intelligence and he got halfway decent instincts and ability as far as athletics. But when you find a guy that got the same type of intelligence that can understand the scheme and got the smarts that got is bigger and stronger, he's gonna lose that position.
Doc should have a church. He should have a Lions church. Because he be preaching gospel.
I think we're talking about replacing the wrong player, though. We got to replace Angelo before we think about replacing
listen again, and I'm not even saying that that's wrong. But what I'm saying is, even if you look at Alex Anzalone, why do people want to replace Alex Anzalone? Why? Why do people want him gone?
Because he's upgradable.
He sucks.
Yep.
He's major upgradable.
So,
and for like Rodriguez defense, I think he's playing hurt, to be honest with you, because he haven't been looking the same. He haven't been looking the same since, what was it?
It was the first time against Chicago, I believe he hurt his elbow.
Yeah, he haven't been playing the same. Like the same people, like the hype train stopped when he got. I think he's playing injured, to be honest with you. And I think he's trying to fight through it.
So look, there's a reason why people are saying replace Anzalone. It goes straight back to the thing I said about personnel this year. He's a veteran. This is where your leader's meant to be on your team. This is where the guy who gets them all up, pushes them forward, makes the big plays go. That's why people want to upgrade him, because we need more leadership on this team. Rodrigo is a first-year, 6th-round draft pick. There is a massive difference between replacing one and the other. One guy's career is just getting started, and one guy's career. That is an area we need leadership. That's why Anzalone's talked about getting upgraded. So they're different. They're not the same.
So for you, because he's a rookie, that matters. Why?
Because I want to give him an opportunity in this team, Luke. So he got the opportunity, right? He's been given the opportunity to do his thing, right? And I'm not knocking his hustle. He's been given the opportunity to do his thing. The question now becomes, and I'm just asking you this, Anthony. If you are sitting up there right now with a chance to say bring in Fred Warner, would you do it? Yeah, and I'd replace Anzalone because that's the leadership I need.
Okay, so
I'm going to keep.
So listen. So if you got a chance to bring in, let's say you got to bring in Fred Warner, and you got a chance to bring in Roquan Smith. Who are the two linebackers you're replacing?
I'm not bringing them in both, Luke. I ain't paying them both.
Okay, I'm not asking. Listen, I'm not asking.
You're moving the goalpost.
Barnes gonna be on the bench.
No. Wait a minute. I'm not asking. I'm not. I never once brought up paying them or paying any money. I never once brought up money. Right. So this is what I'm asking you, Anthony. I want to see how far we're going to go in this idea that he can't be replaced. If so, money is not an issue. Right, I'm treating this like this is free. Money is not an issue. If you are telling me right now that you can get Roquan Smith and Fred Warner, who are the two linebackers that you're going to replace to pick those two guys up? Who are you getting rid of for them guys to get on the roster?
I mean, then you
Barnes got to go to the bench.
You look at Barnes after that.
So you're getting rid of Barnes and who else?
No, we're putting him on the bench.
Anzalone's gone, and you would look at Barnes. But
so Barnes and Anzalone are the two people you're getting rid of.
Right, so look, this is a hypothetical, but I'm going to talk to you about the bigger implications of what you're suggesting. This team and where it was built, you always talk building through the draft, building through your young players. That is how you make your teams. How do you think Dan Campbell's getting buy-in from so many players on this team? Jerry Jacobs, undrafted free agent. He is a starter on this team now because he got an opportunity here, Luke, and was not replaced at the first sign of him doing something wrong. You've got Kramer who came in. You've got Brock Wright who's come in. You've got guys. Look, you've got guys here. You are building this team saying it doesn't matter what your draft position is. Doesn't matter what your status is. You're going to get an opportunity here, and if you take it, it's yours. That is why this team is better a lot sooner than people expected, because we found gems from all sorts of situations. If you start reneging on that, just replacing guys straight up, why is a guy going to want to come here as a rookie if he knows he's just going to get straight up?
Because he got drafted and he went from being 100 to 1,000 year to a millionaire. I mean,
you're undermining the rebuild, Luke. If you put Rodrigo,
I got a question for everybody.
Rebuild.
But listen, the only thing I'm saying is this. If you're looking at your team, right? I don't care what position it is. If you can upgrade that position, you would do it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
And all I'm telling you is when I look at Enron, I do not see a great player. I see an average player.
So why are we focusing on the rookie who's playing well? Why are we not looking at Will Harris? Why are we not looking
Will Harris? You know why? Because Will Harris. You know why? Because Will Harris is an easy target. Anybody named Mama know Will Harris' ass shouldn't be here, and we know that. What I'm pointing out to you is this.
That's Brad Holmes' fault. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Why is Jameson Williams here? If our defense is already clicking, if our offense is clicking and without him, right, and our defense is piss poor, why we didn't invest in that pick in the defense?
That's my problem, but whatever.
I mean, just to be honest with y'all, because
we only have so many picks.
No, we ain't gonna do that. Trenches. We ain't gonna do that because if we playing with we had an injured wide receiver that was just sitting on the bench for half the season. We could have used that pick we would have used that pick either on a safety, a linebacker. Hell, we could have got more defensive players than offense. We didn't need them. We drafted something that we did not need.
No. That's a generational talent. He's a generational talent. Once they teach him, he's a generational
That's something that we didn't need this year. That's something that we did not need.
We might have found it last year and maybe not had that same
we found. Okay, so you see, we couldn't find no wide receivers in the third or second round. We found Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You got
we didn't need. Hold on. We didn't need Jameson Williams. We did not need him this year.
You got to go for it.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I gotta pause for a minute. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've get into a good discussion. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this just for the purposes of this because I see that there's a need for it. I'm going to try to make sure I don't get mandated tomorrow. But if I do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an open forum where we can have these same discussions and stuff like that. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joe. Everybody ain't going to agree with me and you, and they think there's something wrong with it. Yeah, I get it.
No, ain't nothing wrong with it.
But to me, the minute I start asking questions like this, hey, is Jameson going to be better than Calvin Johnson? Let's see what happens. Why we comparing talent? Why are we
generational talent that you had to go get?
That was a reach.
You don't know.
That was a reach.
But see, it's not a reach. It's not a reach because the reality is receivers come a dime a dozen.
No, they don't.
You don't have to.
There is not one receiver in this year's draft that is fit to lace Jameson Williams' boots. Not one.
You're right.
I don't even care. Right. I don't even care if there's a receiver in this draft that's fit to lace his boots or wipe his ass. The reality is this. Having a big name receiver is not something that you need. And the Lions offense was working.
They did need him.
They was working.
They did not need James. They did not need James.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Okay, so through the half of the season, through the whole, did Jameson Williams help you win 8 games?
That's not.
It wasn't no need.
That's not the point.
It's not a need. What did he do? What did he do?
The point is for the future that they know that they needed him. When you look at Cincinnati, what is the wide receiver that they had that the whole league fears? Who is the wide receiver in Cincinnati that everybody fears?
And they quarterback.
But look though, let's be honest. Cincinnati did not. Let's be honest. And when Chase, they were saying Chase was not a good pick. Right in the beginning of the season because they said he had problems with dropping the ball. He had problems with dropping the ball.
Look at him now.
Exactly. So why would we waste draft capital draft
You
capital
didn't waste it.
on a wide receiver that didn't. We did. Okay, we're gonna see.
I can't
Because
end this
if
whole
we-
debate.
No,
I can't end this whole debate.
Because we got a quarterback that don't have no good connection that can't throw the deep ball. So why do we got?
Oh,
him?
you gonna bring that card out, huh? But
No,
I'm just
I
saying.
can't
Like,
end this whole debate.
Listen,
what is
up.
he? How is he serviceable? How is he gonna
man,
tribute
this
to the
man
team?
is a generational talent, and y'all gonna see he gonna put fear in the whole league next year because they
Okay.
gonna
I'm a
have to
docket.
play him.
It is
And
January 2nd, 8 p.m. 18 p.m. He's a generational talent. Wait till next year. He better break records.
he gonna be. I'm telling you, he gonna
Listen,
open up
let's get
everything
into
for
the final
Detroit
thought.
offense.
Let's get into the final thought. Because like I said, I'm gonna give a forum for this to happen because I think this is good conversation. And again, I'm not the same way that everybody wants Alex Anzalone gone and stuff. I'm not even saying get rid of the guy. I'm saying he should not be a starter on this team. Like, to me, he should not be. Anzalone should not be a starter on this team. Rod should not be a starter on this team. It's just they should not. They shouldn't.
The man said they needed leadership. They didn't have leadership in that position, so who else was they gonna pick?
I get why they did it though. Like, I get why they did it. You're right, but if that's the best you can do for a leader, that's not good, right?
I don't know. You did an all right job
Yeah.
for a half-ass dude.
All right, so listen. Let's get to the final thoughts, man. Starting off with you, Joe. Give the people your final thoughts, man.
Don't be a chump. Do your research.
Hey, preach the truth. Preach the truth. Preach the truth, man. My man Perry, give the people your final thoughts.
My thing is simply this. I've had the greatest time just talking Lions football with you fellas. Much respect to all of you.
It has been a joy and a pleasure.
And it was my pleasure handing you your ass.
You know we had to slip one in there.
I'm cool. Listen to the people who new to the show. I am cool with that. Feel free to come in here and talk your talk. I ain't gonna cut you off.
You fellas hit me up in the chat. I posted my contact information.
Luke, I didn't see anything, bro.
It's in the private.
Not in the chat on YouTube.
Got
on
it. Got it. I see it.
All right.
See it.
Love you guys. I'm about to cut out.
You ain't got Instagram, or you ain't got
I got Instagram. You hit me on Instagram regularly. We
I?
talk regularly, bro. You just don't know it.
Which one is you? Did you change your name on there or something?
I'm Papa Daddy 65.
Shut the front door. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. Okay. All right, bro. I got you.
And I'm Steve Perry on some of them. So hit me up, and that's what it is.
All right. Hey,
I love you guys, man. Have a good evening,
right,
you
bro.
fellas.
Be safe.
All right.
Be safe, brother.
Gunner, bring it up, man. What do you got for the final thought, sir?
Man, let me tell you what, us talking about who is a better pass rusher, Hutch or James Houston, talking about, man, oh no, we going to lose AG or Ben Johnson. That is such a great problem to have, and talking about how trash our team was under the previous regime that I will not name.
Nope.
It is 10 times more fun to talk about. So I'm just glad this is where our team is at now versus where it was a couple years ago.
Just a quick side note, Gunner. Remember when I said we should have fired a certain head coach after the first year, and I was told I was crazy because you shouldn't fire a head coach the first year. Meanwhile, everybody firing their coach after the first year. I'll be quiet.
Well, who knows? We may not have ended up with Dan Campbell if we did said things. It could have been a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
Could have been. All right, let's go down to you next, Doc. Doc is in the building. My name is Dr. Christopher Ben Johnson III.
Yes,
Give the people your final thoughts, sir.
My final thoughts is when you see a generational talent, you go after it. You go after that talent and for the future. So whoever's thinking is an opposing, don't be a scary cat. Don't be a sissy or be a clown, and don't go after what you see a generational talent. That's all I gotta say.
All right, 100%. Then we got my man, the residential Packer fan, who predicted the Lions would win the first game. It is now predicted that they will lose the second. My man, Old Timer Dave, who has patiently waited here and enjoyed the conversation and gave us an input about it. Give the people your final thoughts.
I've been sitting back here rolling.
As you can see, this fan base is passionate.
Aren't all fan bases passionate, though? I mean, not many would be like me and come into somebody streamed a troll and wind up on their show,
Yeah. And
But-
on top of that, enjoy the hell out of you being present, because like I said, you come in and you talk your stuff, you keep it respectful, and hey, I can't say nothing to it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say something that Anthony touched on earlier. I agree. Lions need help at linebacker. And he made the comment about bringing in somebody in a free agency because you need that veteran leadership.
Yep.
You don't get that leadership with a rookie in most cases.
Yep.
Very rarely do you get that. You need that veteran back there to bring these new guys up, show them the ropes, show them what needs to be done.
Yep.
And they turn into your leaders.
Yep.
Next, they chase the next generation.
Yep.
But you need that veteran guy back there. That said, Packers 34, Lions 31.
Boom! No, we ain't going for that. We ain't gonna leave on that note. Take away with that one.
Wait, did y'all see Anthony give him the grave thing? Like, oh, that's dead. We gonna dead that.
Oh, he slipped that one in there, didn't he?
Yeah, man.
I ain't mad at.
Well, they
and
were
last-
asking. Somebody in here was asking for picks, so I just gave him one.
And last, and certainly not least, from Roar the Lions UK, my brother from another mother, way across this world. My man Anthony, give the people your final thoughts and let them know where they can find you if they don't know.
Hey, Luke, I live for these streams. I absolutely love coming on here. But all I want to say today, we are the Detroit Lions. We are 2 years removed from a regime that nearly destroyed us, this entire franchise. Remember where we were at then. 2 years later, we have a general manager who can draft talent. We have a coach who inspires his players and makes them better. We have a coaching staff who is performing extraordinary work in such a short amount of time with all these guys. We've gone from 1-6 to 8-8. We are in January. We are playing meaningful games of football. We have a shot at the playoffs. We're about to go to Green Bay, to Lambeau Field, and kick the Packers' ass and end Aaron Rodgers'
That's
career.
right. Whoop that ass.
Remember where
Whoop that
you were
ass.
at. Put these differences aside. Who's better of Hutch and who cares? We've got them both. These are our players. These are the guys who are going to be the foundation of our team going forward to ensure we kick ass on a more regular basis. Enjoy it. Enjoy the hell out of it and put your differences aside. That is all I would say.
Listen, y'all know me, man. I always can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. It's important to me. Again, everybody in the panel, once the show ends, you do not have to leave out. You can actually stay in here still talk in the background without having to leave out. So if you leave out, you leave out. If you jump back in, you jump back in. It's been fun. Like I said, I know that I upset some people today. I know that I made some people happy today, and it's cool. In 2023, I'm too goddamn happy and blessed to let anything frustrate me. So have at it. Let the criticism be. But I don't end no show unless I do it on a positive note. And so today's positive quote comes from the internet. I'm not sure who wrote this, but I thought it was a good quote. Life starts when you know how to be coachable. That's some deep stuff right there. Life starts when you know how to be coachable. See, I think that we find ourselves in a position where we think we've arrived. We've made it, and we don't need any further help. But I find it funny that even the best of the best, like Michael Jordan, went out and got him a coach, and Kobe Bryant went out and got him a coach, and people like Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady went out and got them a coach. LeBron James went out and got him a coach. You see, they wasn't looking for a person to teach them how to reshoot the ball or how to throw it. They were looking for somebody to challenge them to be better than what they were. And some of us today are coming into 2023 not looking to be better than what we were, but that's because you lack a coach. It's time for you to become more coachable. Don't look at criticism as a negative. Look at it as an opportunity, a new door that's being opened for you to explore something new about yourself to be better. Don't look at people's hatred or happiness for you as the end all be all. y'all. You see, that's just another opportunity for you to build yourself up and be something special. You have to be more coachable. And when you're trying to find the best version of yourself, you can only achieve that when you are willing to accept the ins and the outs, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs is when you find out what you really made of. But when you don't have the right coaching, it becomes challenging. I implore you to find the inner coach in yourself, to find someone who can be on your side and your friends and your family that lifts you up, that challenges you to be better than what you were the day before, to be better than what you were last year. Because when you do that, when you become coachable, then you can begin to start to teach the world what a difference they can make. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And if at all you don't do nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.